step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Do the dance in the pants. Don't laugh. Got to do the dance because it's a Monday. It's a brand new month. Level 1, baby.
This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing this morning.
Level 1, yeah, man. And that's all on you, beautiful people, because you've been doing what you need to be doing at home and keeping every other South African safe. So well done, South Africa. Very good morning from my side. My name is Graham Richards.
My name is Jamie Domberg, reporting live for duty on this Monday, the 1st of March. This morning, we're also going to be shedding some light on some serious things, International Wheelchair Day, by sharing a very inspirational story of a local entrepreneur who innovated a seating system to help people with disabilities. So you want to stick around for that?
You know, I've been lucky enough throughout my career to work with so many amazing, differently abled people who have changed my perception of what it is to be so-called disabled in this country. We have some leading lights, and we are going to be joined by such a leading light this morning. I'm joined by the Walking with Brandon ambassador, Brandon Beaker, and biokineticist Taylor Ross, who are going to share some exercises that wheelchair-bound individuals can do, also share their perspective. It's going to be an enriching show this morning. I have a feeling we're going to shift your paradigm just a little bit. Lots to chat about on the sporting front this weekend, because Spurs obviously won and won convincingly this weekend. We've invited Coach Cookie back into studio. He's allowed to be here this morning. We're going to delve into all of our weekend sporting permutations and, of course, connect with these unbelievably good-looking people. What on earth is going on this side of the studio? Morning, gang.
Good morning, you beautiful souls. Thank you so much for joining us on this epic Monday. And as you heard, of course, she was saying it. Zoe, we've got so much magic coming up in the show. Are you ready?
We do. And of course, we want to start off by connecting with you on social media. And we're asking you this question this morning on Facebook is, what is your relationship like with food? And it's a very important relationship.
Yeah.
Raul, I know nutrition is very important to you.
It is like the fuel for adventure. It's the most important part of the day. I mean, I can't think of anything else than a good relationship with your food. And I see you've got one too. I saw your cheat meal this weekend, Zoe.
It was a healthy cheat meal. It was a healthy cheat meal. But something I've learned throughout my little health journey over this last year is that food's not the enemy. I had to really learn to realize that not all, in my mind, I always thought certain food groups were bad.
Yeah.
But you do need some of the healthy fats. You do need some carbs in your life. It's just about portion and the right carbs and fats.
They all serve their purpose so perfectly. But you guys at home, of course, let us know on our social media channels. That's the expressoshow.com, as well as our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And let us know what your relationship with food is. And we will be diving deeper into relationships with Asha Dulab later on the show. But before we get into it, of course, let's kick off the magic and find out what's happening in and around the world with the news.
Thanks so much, team. Plenty to celebrate today. From today, in fact, South Africa will ease restrictions on curfew, alcohol sales and gatherings as it moves to alert level 1. In his address to the nation last night, President Cyril Ramaphosa said the country had now clearly emerged from the second wave with fewer than 10,000 new infections in the last week, compared to 40,000 in the last week of January and then 90,000 in the last week of December. The wearing of masks in public places is still mandatory, and failure to do so remains a criminal offence. Now, some of those new regulations include that the curfew will now begin from 12 midnight up until 4 a.m. All restrictions on alcohol sales are lifted, except for sales during curfew hours, but nightclubs will remain closed. Indoor and outdoor gatherings may not exceed 50% of venue capacity, but may only allow up to a maximum of 100 people indoors and 250 outdoors. Then night vigils or other gatherings at funerals are still not permitted. And the new level 1 rules do not change anything in terms of our borders. Now, casting a wider gaze on the international front, families in northwest Nigeria's Zamfara state are desperately waiting for news of their kidnapped daughters after more than 300 schoolgirls were taken by gunmen from a government school on Friday. The latest in a series of mass school abductions to hit the country, with police coordinating a joint rescue operation with the military and helicopters combing the forest. A number of government ministers have arrived in Zamfara. The girls' abduction has caused international outrage, with the United Nations chief calling for the girls' immediate and unconditional release. Then archaeologists in Italy have unveiled a ceremonial chariot they discovered near the ancient Roman city of Pompeii. Experts believe the four-wheeled carriage was likely used in festivities and parades, with the find described as exceptional and in excellent state of preservation. Pompeii, engulfed by a volcanic eruption from Mount Vesuvius in AD 79, is an archaeological treasure trove. The ceremonial chariot has iron components, beautiful bronze and tin decorations, as well as ropes and floral decoration, almost all intact. And now, news of an unbelievable feat at sea. Some 70 days ago, we reported on Zirk Botha, a 59-year-old former SA naval combat officer, departing from Cape Town on a solo transatlantic rowing attempt to Brazil. Well, this morning, we can proudly tell you that Botha completed the crossing and in record time, covering some 7,200 kilometers in the process. He was rowing for the planet and sustainable development. And he received a rousing welcome at the Rio de Janeiro Yacht Club, escorted by a flotilla of boats and welcomed by excited locals, many dignitaries and several members of the Brazilian media. Botha has set now a new world record, as he has done in the past, as the first person to row the route alone and unsupported by any safety craft, and for the fastest row on the Cape to Rio route. The South African Consul General in Brazil, Tanyiko Kumalo, congratulated Botha. She said, "One can only imagine the challenges you faced and had to overcome during your solo unsupported journey as you navigated through the rough waters of the Atlantic Ocean for many days. What a brave man you are. The nation takes pride in your success," and we certainly echo those sentiments. Well, on that very proud note is where we leave our news headlines. Let's delve into the sport. We start with cricket, and the Lions were crowned the CSA T20 Challenge champions after beating the Dolphins by 4 wickets at Kingsmead in Durban yesterday. The Dolphins won the toss and chose to bat, but Protea bowler Kagiso Rabada was on form, picking up 3 wickets as the Lions restricted the Dolphins to just 107 runs. The Lions reaching their target, winning the match with 1 over to spare. Local rugby also returned in the form of preparation matches this weekend as the Lions, Cheetahs, Bulls and Sharks all recorded big wins. On Friday, the Lions beat the Pumas 32-28 in a tightly contested affair. On Saturday, the Stormers suffered a narrow 34-33 defeat to the Cheetahs in their new home, Cape Town Stadium. And then defending Super Rugby Unlocked and Currie Cup champions, the Bulls, they devastated the EP Elephants 87-10 at Loftus Versfeld. And in the final encounter of the weekend, the Sharks claimed an impressive 35-10 victory over a very spirited Griquas. And staying with rugby, Super Rugby Aotearoa kicked off this weekend with the reigning champions, the Crusaders, picking up where they left off, overcoming the Highlanders 26-13 in the season opener. In the second Aotearoa fixture, the Blues beat the Hurricanes 31-16 to go top of the log. In the Australian domestic competition, defending champions, the Brumbies, they thrashed the Waratahs 61-10 to top the standings, and the Reds, they edged out the Rebels 23-21. Then bringing it back home for football, Orlando Pirates have advanced to the quarterfinals of the Nedbank Cup. That was after they came from a goal down to beat Maritzburg United 3-1 at the Harry Gwala Stadium in Pietermaritzburg. In other Nedbank Cup last 16 results, Chippa United edged out Cape Town City 2-1, and after extra time, Black Leopards were able to continue their form, a recent turnaround in form, beating AmaZulu 1-0, and Chakuma, they overcame Swallows 4-3 on penalties to advance to the quarterfinals with some thrilling cup action throughout the weekend. Then hopping across the ocean, Manchester City made it 20 successive victories in all competitions. That was after beating West Ham United, who did put up a solid showing 2-1 at the Etihad in the English Premier League. So City has now moved 12 points clear at the top of the standings. In other results, the goals from David Luiz, Alexander Lacazette and Nicolas Pepe helping Arsenal to a 3-1 win at Leicester City in a very entertaining clash. Same couldn't be said of Chelsea and Manchester United, who played out for a goalless draw. But Tottenham Hotspur definitely returning to form in the league after losing 5 of their previous 6 games, crushing Burnley 4-0. Gareth Bale, who started the match, scoring 2 there, and then Liverpool defeated Sheffield United 2-0. That's where we leave our sport for now, albeit we'll do a deep dive into all of our weekend sport. Of course, Coach Cookie is here to give you his take, but right now, let's get our first look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures.
Thank you, Graham. And we've asked you to share your sunrise photos with us, and you have certainly pulled through. We start your week off with this beautiful image from Marilyn Phillips and George, showing off some of those golden hues and the sunrise. In George today, expect a warm day with some thunder showers in spots this afternoon. And then we head inland to Johannesburg, where one of our regulars, Ntokozo Theo Makatini, shared this cloudy morning. Your day will become clear and sunny with a peak of 24 degrees Celsius. Well, thank you to all of you for sharing your images with us. If you would like to be featured, all you have to do is head over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your photo and location. And while we enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your parts in South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the US. So this morning we are reporting on the weather in Lincoln, Nebraska. Winters are cold and summers are warm with little precipitation during winter. Precipitation is concentrated in the warmer months when thunderstorms frequently roll in, often producing tornadoes. Now you can expect a sunny yet cold day with a maximum of only 8 degrees Celsius, so stay warm today. And just some quick news, thousands of cold-stunned turtles were rescued as temperatures dropped to a record lows in the US state of Texas last month. Now they are being returned to the Gulf of Mexico. Sea turtles are vulnerable to cold waters, which hampers their movement. Sea Turtle Incorporated, which coordinated the rescue operation, said more than 5,000 cold-stunned sea turtles had been brought indoors to stay warm. According to the conservation group's Facebook page, due to the unusually cold waters, turtles were floating on the surface of the water, making them more susceptible to drowning, and they were also washing up onto beaches. Staff and volunteers went out in boats, netted the turtles out of the water and brought them to safety. They nursed them, kept them healthy, waiting for the weather to clear and the ocean to warm up somewhat. And this past weekend, they started releasing the Texas sea turtles back into the ocean after the cold front had eased off. Well, that's where we leave some interesting news with your weather, and let's quickly look at your temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 14 with a high of 23 is on the cards for today. Mbombela 18, 24. Pretoria partly cloudy with a high of 26. Johannesburg sunny with a high of 24. Mahikeng 12, 26. Klerksdorp 12, 27. Kimberley 15 with a high of 30. Sien Bloemfontein is 12 met 'n maximum van 27 vir vandag, and rain is expected in Richards Bay, a low of 19, a high of 26. Pietermaritzburg 14, 27. Durban 21 with a high of 27. Mthatha partly cloudy, a low of 13, a high of 29. East London 20, reaching a high of 27. Cradock, some thunder showers can be expected with a high of 34. Gqeberha 20, reaching a high of 28. If you're in George, 21 with a high of 31. Cape Town 18, reaching a high of 27. Worcester 18 with a high of 35. Sutherland partly cloudy with a low of 14, a high of 27. Uppington 19, reaching a high of 33 degrees Celsius. That's where we leave your weather for now. We'll have another update shortly after 7.
Liverpool, this
guy's been so happy, guys.
Manchester
This
United.
entire day, you're so happy just because Bale's back. Is that it? Bale's back.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. It's been 5 games. We've got the win. Lots of exciting sport to get into. Coach Cookie is in the house.
Yes.
To talk about how useless Chelsea were yesterday against an equally useless Man United. No, all jokes aside, it wasn't a great game, but a couple of exciting results to get into.
And of course, the Reds. Yes, my boys, we did it. We are back in the game. We beat Sheffield, but you'll chat more about it after this.
What a
Stick
scalp,
around.
man. What a scalp, man.
Of course, happy boys here, clearly.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Let's talk sport. For a second string Bulls team ran rampant in Pretoria, literally, when they thrashed the Eastern Province Elephants with one of the biggest totals you'll ever see in rugby. Crusaders started their Super Rugby Aotearoa defence in style, picking up where they left off, beating the Highlanders and defending champions, the Brumbies, absolutely obliterated the Waratahs in the Australian domestic competition. Our favourite rugby coach, Kutle Sonkosi, Coach Cookie, is back. Some amazing rugby action over the weekend, so a perfect opportunity to talk about Gareth Bale and how amazing it was this weekend. No, we're going to talk about football. A battle of the big cats on Friday night. The Lions up against the Pumas. I've got to say, the Lions just edging out a Pumas team that will frustrate. I'm sure Jimmy is as frustrated as anyone else. A team where the margins are generally so small errors costing them, but they're a good team, and this was a good scalp for the Lions to open their accounts.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Pumas, I feel bad for them because they always get so close, but they can just never ever get those wins. I mean, every time whoever plays them is have a tough game. I mean, the Pumas rarely get thrashed by the big side, so I think the Pumas will be disappointed themselves more. I think the Lions know
they could have won it.
The Lions know they escaped with a comfortable 4-point win, but they know that. Listen, they're in a fight, and the Pumas will definitely be kicking themselves.
Yeah, and I think they'll be contenders throughout this season. Not the kind of welcome to their new home, Cape Town Stadium, that the Stormers wanted. They could have won it. They had every opportunity, but the Cheetahs showed their depth and a very big boot coming into effect at times, as we know, with Frans Steen's effect on the field. What did you make of the 33-34 loss to the Cheetahs?
I think, Roscoe Speckman basically almost beat Western Province on his own. I think he was sidestepping even the security guards, the cameramen on the side of the field. I mean, he was running rampant.
In fact, you don't even see him for half the shots when they're filming.
I mean, if you look at the Stormers were in complete control the whole game. I think, Roscoe Speckman was the difference, a hat-trick, and great win for the Cheetahs. I think that they needed that win. I think obviously they being kicked out of the Pro 16, so they want to show the big teams that they still deserve to be there.
Bulls, Eastern Province. We wanted a warmer welcome for the Elephants, 87-10. You expected more.
Listen, if you want to have a party, a welcoming party, don't go to the Blue Bulls. Bulls ran rampant. I mean, even though they're second string side, listen, tough for the Elephants, tough start, but I think they can only get better from here. So that's the upside. So
and I'm pretty sure Coach opened with that in the dressing room. And then, of course, the Sharks, I felt, looked good against the Griquas, and the scoreline doesn't depict how good the Griquas actually were. I think they were leading for the opening stanza of the game, but the Sharks, nice to see them not kicking the ball away. Nice to see Fussy running with ball in hand, giving Van Kok the opportunity to run with ball in hand. They've got some strong runners. You want to see them playing that free-flowing rugby.
No, 100%. Full of talent. I mean, if you look at that side, I mean, it's full of runners. I mean, Van Kok, like you said, I play fast, Jeremy Ward. There's guys in that side. You want to see the Sharks use ball in hand, and they look very good yesterday against the Griquas.
We now move to Super Rugby Aotearoa. Crusaders looking incredibly good, so another wonderful opportunity to talk about Gareth Bale and the 2 goals that he scored in the English. No, we're not doing that. The Crusaders, they kind of represent the continuity and consistency of All Blacks rugby. Yes, because they've got an All Black laden side. I think most of that team have put on the silver fern, the white fern, but they look incredibly good, and they kind of picked up where they left off.
Yeah, I mean they picked up where they left off after everyone's. I mean,
last decade.
Yeah, after the last decade. I mean, it's a new year, but same old Crusaders. I think they get to a point in games where you just they go 10 points clear. You're like, well, that's game over. There's nothing you're going to do, and they always seem to keep teams interested. Like, the Highlanders could fight back here. Then like, okay, sorry, they score a little late try, and then game over. But
they do that All Black thing of the last 15 minutes of the game, just completely crushing the spirit. That being said, I think then maybe the Hurricanes and the Blues represent all that's beautiful about the attacking game of New Zealand rugby, and we got that in spades. And again, just the level of their rugby for a season opening game, it kind of looked like they've been playing all season. This time the Blues obviously having the bragging rights. Sad for Artie Severa in his 100th game, also having Julian on the pitch there, but it didn't seem to take away from his experience of that game and putting the captain's jersey on. But the Blues looked good.
They look very good. I think the margins will be a lot closer this year between the Blues and the Crusaders. I think the Blues have got some great signings. They have lost Bowden Barrett, but I think they've strengthened their pack to try and match up to the Crusaders. But listen, that blue side looks very good. But it's in the Hurricanes also on paper. I mean, Julian Surveys, he looked amazing.
He looked ready, yeah.
So it's like, so it's going to be interesting. But
We move to the Australian domestic competition. Another massive scoreline, so a great opportunity to talk about Gareth Bale and how well he played for Spurs this weekend. No, we're not talking about it. The Reds, the Rebels. The Reds, they got pushed by the Rebels. Clearly that bye gave them the energy that they needed, but I expected more dominance from the Reds.
No, 100%. I thought... lots of drama in that game. I mean, Rebels missed a late kick to win it. There was a red card for the Reds. But for me, it actually showed the maturity in the Reds. You know, they had a red card for 20 minutes, so they were man down. For them to come through, because they're a young side, but they're showing their class and coming through in tough situations. The old Reds loses that game. So, yeah, great win for them.
We tip our hats to the Reds and the Brumbies, 61-10 against the Waratahs. There's nothing really you want to say about that match except that the Waratahs just did not show up. Yes, we will talk about Gareth Bale and a little bit of football in just a moment. Coach Cookie is sticking around.
Well, I wish you can really smell the coffee aromas in studio right now, but when it comes to the Swedes, they are known for their sensible sophistication, and nowhere is it more evident than in the country's capital, that is Stockholm. And here, coffee shops line the streets with well-dressed men and women enjoying tall cups of strong black coffee with traditional pastries. Now, these moments of togetherness are called fika moments, and it's at the heart of Swedish culture. So much so that the Swedes are some of the top coffee consumers in the world, and Raul is busy making us delicious coffees.
I am indeed, I am, Zoe. Of course, you're getting this Monday morning kicked off and started. Now, World Exploration Stockholm, of course, it's the Fortissimo Lungo, and it's the perfect recreation of what I call an intense all-Arabica coffee, and it's kind of best enjoyed black, of course, and that's to savor the pure taste beloved by the Swedes. Now, I don't know about you and what you think of the taste, Zoe, but I really love the maltiness that it has. It's got this hint of richness, but a slight bitter little angle coming to it as well. I don't know how you feeling there.
I love it. I mean, what's amazing about this one, it's got a strength of 8, and also it's 100% Arabica blend with high quality African beans. And you made a lungo, which is 110
yes,
mils.
so you're getting that extra bit of sensation, that extra bit of flavor, and that extra bit of magic to get your Monday started, of course.
Well, listen, this is how I need to start every day, not just my Mondays.
Cheers to that.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back.
Beat you to it.
Well, welcome back to your feel-good breakfast show. I know it's that time of the morning where we all love bringing you feel-good content. And this morning there are 2 stories, Raul, that myself and Jamie want to bring to you, and of course to you at home, that we found on social media. Is it okay if I start off with the first one?
I know you're very happy to share this content, so please go ahead.
Well, this one's absolutely special. Now, Olympic athlete teaches a disabled kid how to walk. So that is basically what we're about to, unpack. And March signifies the start of Developmental Disabilities Month. And what better way to kick it off the month than to share this inspiring video of a little boy learning to walk on his prosthetic leg. And who better to show him the ropes? Well, how does 8-time Paralympic track and field international medalist, Paralympic athlete Blake Leaper sound? Now take a quick look at this beautiful video.
He's standing up on his rubber legs.
Uh-oh. I got my legs on now. I'm ready. I'm ready for you.
Big stuff there, dude.
You're doing great. You're doing awesome.
Look at him.
Uh-oh.
You're almost there.
See mine. Mine looks like yours a little bit.
You better go.
Are you ready? Let's go. Step. By step. By step. By step. By step.
Who cut the onions? That is so beautiful.
That is so incredible. And also to have inspiration like that at such a young age when you're going through the absolute most, I think that's just so heartbreaking. I mean, can you think what that kid must like grow up to be?
Yeah.
He must think, I want to be a superhero like that guy with those robot legs and his crazy. I love that so much. I love that inspiration. Thank you for bringing that through to us.
Definitely some feel good coming your way. We have another story coming your way, and this one is all about positive words of affirmation. Now, of course, we all need a reminder from time to time of just how awesome we are. Why not give yourself a little pep talk like this little girl reacting her ABCs with affirmations about herself? Take a look at this.
Spend time. Mommy, can you help me?
Of course. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You really ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, let's go. A is for?
Awesome. I am awesome.
B is for?
Beautiful. I am beautiful.
C is for?
Creative. I am creative.
D is for?
Dynamic. I am dynamic.
E is for?
Extraordinary. I am extraordinary.
F is for?
Focus. I can focus.
G is for?
That is how the ABCs should be taught. Wow.
How cool is that? And at such a young age as well. I think we should all learn the ABCs like that. I mean, come on.
She's just the cutest.
And I do love how she's like, Mom, I am so ready. We need that energy here in the morning. I absolutely love it. Oh, man, she's so cute. I think we should have a word of the day every day and just use that like this little kid. And I can take inspiration from this as well. I absolutely love it. Yes.
Well, we hope you enjoyed those stories. Connect with us, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. We also have another very inspiring story coming your way right now.
Yes, indeed. We're going to shift our focus to take a look at a company in Johannesburg that is themselves focusing on innovation for people living with disabilities. Gutle met with the founder of PRD Logical Solutions to talk about their game-changing Paratube product. Take a look.
Portia Mavungu is a Wonder Woman. She's always known that she wants to be her own boss. It is only after tragedy hit, when she was involved in a major accident, that she found inspiration and an opportunity to embark on her own business venture, and that is to produce an innovative product, the Paratube. We're at Portia's home right now to find out more. Portia.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Fine, thanks, and yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for inviting us to your beautiful home.
Thank you so much.
We are here for one thing and one thing only. That's the Paratube. Please tell us more about it.
Sure. So the Paratube is a retrofitted seat that fits onto any standard existing wheelchair. It works together with disposable biodegradable bags, and it has a built-in toilet.
Sounds incredible. What was the motivating factor for you to embark on an entrepreneurial journey?
In 2011, I had a major accident. I fell off a 3-story building. I broke my pelvis and my left arm. I went into deep depression because now I needed assistance to use something simple like the bathroom. My mom and granny had to lift me off the wheelchair and put me onto the toilet pot. But then I thought to myself, I'm going to be in the situation for a short period of time. What about those that's going to be in the situation for the rest of their lives? And that's how I came up with the Paratube concept.
I think as a people in general, we draw inspiration from other people's experiences. And one thing I'm sure everyone would like to learn is the process of the inception of an idea to execution to where you are today.
Well, it's a long process, but I suppose when you have the passion and you're patient enough, that's one thing entrepreneurship will teach you. When I came up with the product, I had no idea I was going to start a business. I was with the mindset of you come up with the innovation, you sell it to the market, you become rich, and your life goes on. But what's the beautiful part about South Africa, where they teach us that entrepreneurship is very important for youth. So going through the institution that I went through with the Technology Innovation Agency, I've learned how to build a business.
I'm looking forward to seeing the first prototype. May you please show me?
Please, come through.
Portia, I'm really excited to learn more about this incredible product that you have here.
Thank you so much. Please, take a seat.
Do you mind please demonstrating how the Paratube works exactly?
Not a problem at all. Okay, so this is the Paratube. So the Paratube is a retrofitted seat that fits onto any standard existing wheelchair. It works together with disposable biodegradable bags. Now in each of this bag you'll find a sachet. Now this is the same material that you would find in a normal napkin. So every sachet, whatever falls into the bag, combusts and traps in everything that's in there. So basically how the design is, we converted a seat into more like a drawer. So how you pull a drawer out or towards you, the seat basically goes forward. And now in the seat in the center we have our secondary bag, so should anything miss the disposable bag, it will fall into the secondary bag. Complete hygiene. The center part of the seating opens up, and then you take your disposable bag and you just place it into the center of this bag, and you'll see it has strings to keep the primary bag completely trapped into the center of the seating. And all you do is you pull the seat back. I haven't moved an inch, I haven't left the seating, and now I'm comfortably sitting on my toilet seat.
Throughout the years working on the Paratube, what have you achieved so far, and what are you looking forward to in the year 2021?
It all started in 2017 when we received the winning prize for the Gap Medical Awards, which is a Gauteng Accelerator program. And then after that, everything just went crazy. We received awards from the United Nations in Kenya. We are now part of the United Nations. We received the Global Clean Tech Innovation Program, Social Innovation Winners in 2018. In 2018 and 2019, we received the TT100 Best Upcoming Concept with Da Vinci Institution. And in 2019, we were the only woman in the top 3 that represented South Africa at the Entrepreneurship World Cup.
Where to from here? When can we expect distribution of the Paratube?
So this Paratube, we've identified a few homes as well as disability and old age homes that we're going to be testing. So we're going to full testing mode just before June. So for the next 2 months we'll be testing. So in the future we want to move more to the IoT of things. So basically we want to make it into a push button, automatic for any usage, because right now it's just manual, completely manual. So you need upper body movement in order to use the Paratube.
You are such an inspiration, you and your team, and what you have done here is life-changing in many aspects. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you so much.
Portia is just awesome. She's resilient and her innovations are driven by empathy. And one thing that we have learned is that if we are faced with any problems, it's up to us to find solutions that could better impact other people. And we wish her all the best with her future business endeavors.
Truly remarkable. Kudos to Portia. To echo what Kutle said, they're absolutely amazing as an individual, but her impact on the world, that is a legacy to leave. Incredible stuff. That is really the kind of inspiration we signed up for on this show. And we're going to continue on a very inspirational track this morning. We've got Taylor and Brandon here, two powerhouses behind Walking with Brandon, a non-profit that is doing some amazing things, and they're going to put our own fitness experts through their paces this morning with a strength workout in just a moment. Stick around.
Looking for fantastic health and weight loss benefits without a lifestyle change or being on a diet? Well, Shapeline 50 Billion from Proven Probiotics is the first ever probiotic to offer scientifically proven weight loss, while at the same time boosting immune and digestive health. That's why we think Shapeline 50 Billion may well be the world's most effective probiotic. Available at Dis-Chem and Clicks.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Of course, you're still locked into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and I've got some specialists in the building. You know what time it is when you're chilling in my office, of course. Now, a tragic gymnastics accident in 2012 left Brandon Beek wheelchair-bound as a quadriplegic. But since then, Brandon's family started a non-profit organization called Walking with Brandon, where they help thousands of disabled patients with accessible outpatient rehab. And now this morning, biokineticist Taylor Ross, who works as the foundation, along with Brandon, will be taking us through a few strength exercises for wheelchair users on International Wheelchair Day. And of course, Taylor, I'm so excited. We chatted during the lockdown, of course, was via Zoom, so it's great to have you in the studio in person. And I'm so keen to get more of these skills going. And I think the rest of Mzansi is going to absolutely love this, because we have a lot of people that are bound to a chair, that don't have that mobility, so they are listening with full open ears. So take us through this workout. What are we doing?
Awesome. Right, we're going to start with a warm-up. So this whole workout is based just with dumbbells. If you don't have dumbbells, you can use water bottles. If you don't have water bottles, you can use tin cans. So for a warm-up, we're just going to start for 1 minute.
All right.
Doing
Zoe,
internal and external
I've got my teammate Zoe out there. You're good on the other side?
I'm really enjoying it. Right, so from this position here, all you're going to do is rotate outwards as far as you can, and then all the way back in. That's perfect. Awesome. And up.
So Taylor, I'm slightly feeling a little bit of a strain on my shoulders as I'm coming down. Right in the front here. Is that the way? Is that good?
We're trying to stretch out the shoulders and warm up the rotator cuff.
Okay.
Before we start with any real strength work, working on mobility, which is super important for our wheelchair users, is shoulder mobility.
And I'm imagining that the mobility is also going to just help with general activities like range and being able to function a bit better.
If you're trying to reach for something in the cupboard, you need shoulder mobility.
Okay. All right.
Simple as that.
Got you. And how long and how many of these will we do?
We're going for a minute. So every exercise that we do, we'll be doing for a minute. We've got 5 altogether after this warm-up. Awesome. And you can repeat it 3 times for a 15-minute workout or 6 for a 30-minute workout.
I can imagine already, and we're only like 20 seconds in.
I know, my shoulders are burning.
But the full minute would be a proper burner, of course, but we're going to move on because I want to see more of these exercises.
Right.
So what's next?
So our first one is a lateral raise. We're going to start arms at our sides, sitting nice and forwards in your chair, lifting all the way up to shoulder height and controlling nice and slowly down. That's perfect.
Now, Taylor, how often, on a daily recommendation for exercises, how in terms of timing would you recommend everyone gets exercise?
So the ACSM, which is the American College of Sports Medicine, they recommend 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week. So it's about 30 days if you're going Monday to Friday.
So then taking
30 minutes, sorry.
30 minutes, wow. So to take the extreme of that situation, you've got the recommended, but then you've got someone like Brandon over here who is the extremist. And he's pretty much like an Olympian if you look at his training levels. So how would Brandon train? Does he still incorporate these exercises in his training, or is it a lot more advanced?
Do you want to answer that, Pete?
I'd probably do exercises like this is my pre-ab or my warm-up.
Okay.
But I'm on quite a strict training regime. Monday to Saturday.
Okay.
Training 1 to 2 sessions a day.
1 to 2 sessions a day.
Yeah.
Wow, well done. Okay, well that's clearly what it takes to get to your caliber, man. I love that. How are we doing here, Taylor? Where are we next?
Shall we move on to the next one?
Yes, please.
Awesome. So we're going for another shoulder strength exercise. Shoulder strength really important in our wheelchair users because they're pushing their chair all the time. And you also need to be able to transfer from one chair to another chair.
Okay.
So we're going for a shoulder press.
All right.
Dumbbells at your shoulder level, and we're going overhead press.
I know we're using water bottles right now, but in terms of kilograms, how heavy should we go with our dumbbells?
It's going to depend on you and your strength and your capabilities. So every person is so individual. I wish I could give an exact answer, but it's going to completely depend on your training experience, your level of strength, If you have any shoulder injuries, I mean, I know Ryle had a previous shoulder dislocation.
I have plenty of those, and it's quite weird, and I correlate with Brandon because as much as you are still trying to do all these crazy exercises, you can't get away from these basics.
No,
and
absolutely.
even me right now with a 2.5 kg dumbbell, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm able to activate and really concentrate on that mind-muscle connection. So
exactly.
Dramatic benefit in this, and as basic as it looks, it's so beneficial.
It's your bread and butter. You can't do without it. These simple lifts are the most important.
Yeah, I know for Zoe this might be a little bit boring because she's been just stepping it up of late with her exercises.
It's not. This is still working my arms. I'm very weak in my upper body strength, but like this is still a workout. No matter how light the dumbbells are, like I can feel the movement. Like you're saying, it's like I feel like you readjusted your shoulders as well.
Completely, yeah.
You feel it.
You feel it.
Brandon, where are you at in your training, just by the way? Because I know you're doing so many crazy things. You got big races, big events. Where are we at the moment, man?
I've got some small competitions coming up, so I've started a new phase now. So it's going to be, it's an exciting time. You know, it's quite a big year. Hopefully, with making the Paralympic team for Tokyo, but things are looking good. Things are looking good.
Oh, you're looking good, man. Look, Mzansi, I've been seeing this man train. He does work like this every day. You can join him as well, and you can also possibly even get all the way to the Paralympics. That's his goal this year, and I think we're going to be finishing off with one more cherry on the top, Taylor, for the rest of Mzansi.
Let's do it.
Take it away, yeah.
Right, we're going to do some tricep kickbacks. So you're going to lean forwards this time, chest on your knees, elbows at your sides, and we are squeezing back to extend the arms.
Oh, I love this one. I've got a lot of buddies that love this exercise just so that the arms can look good.
It's arm day. They love arm day.
And I've also never tried this one seated.
It's very different.
It's quite cool actually because you can really now concentrate on not cheating the exercise.
I feel like you just compensate so much less when you're in this position.
Yeah, you're not bounce with the legs.
Yeah, you're not swinging arms, you're not cheating, it's nice and isolated. So triceps, another very important muscle group in our wheelchair users. Again, pushing chairs and transferring, super important.
And I would imagine, I don't know, for Brandon in his races, what's the most important muscle group for you, bro?
Oh gosh.
I think it's just it's all between your arms, your chest, your shoulders.
Oh, because everything.
Pretty much everything. But I think the most important thing is your shoulders. You got to keep those shoulders healthy because we overuse them so much and we're prone for injury.
Yeah, I can imagine using them almost every day. They're like geez, your entire body's power move.
Pretty much. Use it every day, and now that's pretty much my sport's dependent on my shoulders as well. So if my one shoulder goes out, then that's it. My mobility day to day and my sport is all out.
Hence this training, making bulletproof shoulders, and
there we go.
Hopefully seeing you at the Paralympics. Taylor, Brandon, you guys have been so awesome. Thank you so much for coming to the studio. We hope to see some more of you, and thank you for sharing these incredible exercises with Mzansi. I know a lot of people at home are going to really appreciate this, and of course from myself and Zoe and the rest of Expresso, we're wishing you nothing but luck for the rest of your challenges this year, man.
Thank you so much for having us. It's been such a pleasure.
Cheers. Let's get that cool down going, eh?
Right. Let's end with a little bit of a core exercise, actually.
Okay, cool.
We're going to just do twists, tapping side to side. Right, core stability, very important.
All right, Mzansi, we'll see you guys later. Cheers.
And we know after that workout, it's all about fueling the body, and what better way than fuel with food. And we know that forming a healthy relationship with food takes really a conscious effort, but preparing a nutritious meal isn't as difficult as you might think. We are about to make pesto chicken, and it is made with fresh basil, parmesan cheese, garlic, lemon juice, and lean chicken. I want you to smell all those flavors coming through, and it is easy dish. It's also packed with some serious flavor and ticks off all the nutritious boxes, but you can serve it with a salad at your lunch or your dinner, and it is sorted, and who better than G-Man to make it for us this morning.
I just want to say to Brandon, there's this kind of trend of athletes coming onto our show to go on to do amazing things like win gold medals at the Paralympics and Rugby World Cups and things like that. So I'm just saying, just putting it out there, putting it out there. And we are going to make something beautiful, healthy, full of flavor, and I think this is where often with the healthier side of life, people forget, yes, you're eating for a nutritional value, but you still want to make it really tasty so that it's sustainable, so you keep enjoying it. This is really easy easy to make. So the core of it is our pesto. Okay, and we both love pesto.
We do.
We love our pesto made with fresh basil, beautiful fresh ingredients. So you're getting that vitamin load. Normally, a pesto does have a high oil content, so we've dialed back the olive oil, but olive oil fresh is pretty good as long as you're not burning it and you're changing its composition by cooking with it. That's why they say kind of use a higher smoking point oil when you're cooking, and something like an olive oil when you're going to be dressing a salad or dressing something like this. So the idea here is we don't want to be cooking too long, so we've kind of already butterflied and flattened out our chicken pieces so they're going to cook nicely.
Lean breast coming
It's
through.
lean, man. It's all about the original protein, the Mac Daddy, the chicken breast. So we're going to make our beautiful basil pesto, and there's nothing better than fresh basil. Like, that's one of my favorite, like a tricolore salad, you know, with a bit of mozzarella, a bit of tomato.
Everything.
Oh, it's the most. We've got our walnuts, which is
And you
key.
can use any nuts going in. You can use some almonds, and as well, of course, we're using macadamia. Walnuts
Walnuts
going
just
in.
lend itself. It's just the traditional kind of go-to. Then we've got some already crushed garlic.
Do you have a spoon?
I've got a spoon.
Oh, and that garlic will also just give punch.
It's just going to give it a kick, yeah. And that's flavor. That's the most important thing when it comes to creating a pesto. A squeeze of lemon. And this will also help it, because it does do, like a pesto, if you leave it open, it tends to go, like the pesto oxidizes very quickly, so the acid in this will help kind
Quick
of combat
tip for this as well, to put it into a container. You can keep it for up to 5 days in the fridge, so then you have this every day. So if you don't want to use the chicken breast, pop it on some pasta. You can use on a fresh salad, anything. So
we've got obviously a fair bit of oil there because it needs to kind of come together with that consistency, but you can use less or more. It's done according to you, and then just a generous sprinkling of salt and a little bit of black pepper just to balance it out. So we've got a lovely balance of flavors here. You've got the sour, you've got the punch from the garlic, and
all you have to do is just get it all together.
There we go. Now I did put just like a half or less, half a cup of water in there.
Oh, that's green.
Nice, and I love the way that green just pops.
Perfect.
And there we go. And you can make it according to the consistency that you like. I'm just going to get that out of the way. And then voila. And like you say, use some of it for your chicken, put the rest in a container, keep it for like 5 days. Brilliant. Okay, so here we've got our ready-made pesto here.
And put that on. The girls, our food extraordinaires, told me that they'd recommend an hour to do this, hour to marinate it and get all that juices soaked in with the chicken. So yeah, we already had ours there, and you're just going to pop it on there.
I'm going to just pop this onto the griddle pan. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put these in here and put our pesto on that, so the rest of the studio team can also
look at
have
you
a
being
little bit
sweet.
of a chow. And because you've butterflied these chicken breasts, they really don't need a lot of time. You really want those flavors to infuse.
Nothing excites me more than that.
I know.
Just throw it all in.
Just going to do it all. And just the aromas, the smell of it.
I think it's that garlic also coming through, that lemon zest. Everything is smelling amazing.
Okay, and like you say, an hour, you know, even longer. You can leave it overnight if you want, just ready. And also the acidity, the lemon that we put in there is going to help to break down the chicken fibers even more.
Give it a turn.
And it's griddle pan, awesome. I love those griddle marks. It just looks beautiful and amazing.
And helps seal in all the ingredients as well. So you're getting every single love from that chicken. So
it's beautiful. So I don't know if you want to start assembling our salad. I'm absolutely love my whole state foods in salad form. That's my go-to. I was blessed by my mother with this love of salads, and this is a combination that you absolutely adore. So we've got wild rocket there, which has got a lovely peppery taste. What's going on?
We have some sun-dried tomatoes. So just a tip is basil and sun-dried tomatoes goes hand in hand. Like we say, cumin and coriander on the show. this is the two things that is just made in heaven. And then you pop that basil chicken on top, that pesto chicken on top, and you can, this could be lunch, this could be dinner, this could be whatever you want to do. Look at just that color alone.
And yeah, if you want to bulk this up a little bit, maybe it's on a training day, you want to kind of get that extra energy surge, cook yourself some beautiful noodles, a nice pasta would go so beautifully, even with those fresh ingredients.
Just like that.
Just like that would be immaculate for me. How's that looking? going to let this cook through just a little bit longer. So here you've got all the balance of flavors. You've got some beautiful nutrients going into our basil pesto. We've kind of reduced the oil a little bit so it doesn't have the same kind of high oil content, but you're not skimping on any of the flavor. Just make a lot because you will want to eat more and more.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are live with Expresso. Time to delve back into our weekend sport. Coach Cookie is here. We're going to talk cricket. We're going to talk football right now, but let's start with the cricket. The Lions dominant throughout the entire series. Very spirited performance from the Dolphins in that final yesterday, but I figure a perfect opportunity to talk about Gareth Bale and the 2 goals that he scored for Spurs in their 4-0 brilliant 4-0 victory. No, we're not talking about that yet. The CSA challenge has been great to see the South African big guns come out and show their form. I think Keshav could have been forgiven. I'm talking about in his decision to put the Dolphins into bat first, knowing how well he's bowled. And again, he bowled brilliantly, that they could probably defend any total, but this wasn't a total that anyone could defend. 100-odd runs on the board for a Lions team led so beautifully by Bavuma throughout this entire tournament was never going to be.
No, definitely. And it was so strange. I felt bad for the Dolphins because I think they batted really well all tournament long. I mean, they bowled well.
Yeah.
But I mean, for them to obviously, I mean, you can't defend 108. I mean, you're in a hard into nothing. But yeah, great win for the Lions. And like you said, it's so great to see the Proteas big guns, because normally when you have the local T20 challenge, you have all the Proteas out.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have them all back in, mixing the experienced guys with the youngsters. A lot of youngsters came through as well. So yeah, like I said, the Lions, well led by Pavumas, was brilliant.
And I think that's where T20, where we could take a leaf out of the IPL, it was developed as a developmental structure. The idea being to blood in young players, putting them on the pitch with the best players in the world, and you see them shine. But is there anything better than watching KG bowling the way that he did yesterday? You want to see him with his tail up. You want to see him bowling fast. That's a good sign for the Proteas.
Yeah, 100%. I think KG at full flight is
magical
to watch. I mean, when he's bowling well, we tend to do well as well. So yeah, it's so great to see him doing well. So great for no rain a whole week in Durban. There's no rain. It's still unbelievable. I had a feeling that like the final could be rained out, but I mean, yeah, I think
weather was the winner.
Yeah,
Weather
was the real winner.
The only thing that's worth talking about more than Gareth Bale this weekend, Richards Bay United for the win. They go through, incredible stuff, beating TS Sporting 2-1 there. Any major shocks or surprises? Maybe Cape Town City going down. Maybe we should start with Pirates going through at least the big guns, one of the big guns, with Chiefs notably being out of the tournament, making it through to the last 16.
Yeah, I think Pirates showed their class when they're coming back down and coming from behind to win. But yeah, I thought it was a good win I thought Amazulu was a bit of a shock with them going down to Black Leopards. I think that was a massive win.
Especially with the form Black Leopards have had for the entire season.
No, 100%. Yeah, so I mean, because Benny's done a great job so far with Amazulu. So yeah. I'll say that's my shock of the weekend.
He wasn't in the aria yesterday. Now let's move across to the English Premier League for just a moment here. Let's talk about Man City, West Ham. West Ham, this is a team that is playing some phenomenal football, as they proved against Spurs. They really are one of the big guns this season. And again, Manchester City now 12 points clear at the top. They've taken those 12 points from top 6 teams as well, most notably. City are out and out favourites, yes, to win the league, but they are playing some immaculate football now.
No, definitely. I mean, they're defending well. I mean, they can always score goals. It was so surprising that they two defenders scored goals. I mean, John Stones scoring tap-ins. I mean, it's amazing. But listen, West Ham, give them full credit. I thought they had some chances to win that game, and yeah, I mean, like I said, they pretty much are the cream of the crop in London. But luckily,
chase by beating Leicester. And it seems a surprise to say that that's a surprise.
Yeah.
But based on this season's form for the Gunners, you would expect Leicester, the kind of footy that they've been playing, to put in a much bigger showing than they did. 3-1. That's a massive scalp for Arsenal.
No, 100%. I mean, well, Leicester struggle against small teams, so that's why that's why Arsenal got the win. But yeah, it's a massive win for Leicester. I thought for Arsenal, sorry, I thought Arsenal was very good. One of the better performances they've shown in a long time. But with them, they're not consistent. That's the problem.
Yeah, and Arteta's got to look at a performance like that and be so frustrated with why they are not performing like that week in and week out. 4-0. Yes, it's Burnley. Okay, but Spurs looking at that trident, and I feel vindicated by Bale getting the start and being able to perform, being given the breathing room. But how beautiful does that trident look, having the pace? And Son's not even on form at the moment. He's had a bit of a dip in form, but having Son, Bale, and
Harry Kane.
Yeah. Sorry, Harry. How quickly we forget. Out in front, that is a beautiful striking trio.
No, 100%. I think the massive thing for Spurs was, those relegation games are tough. When you're playing a team who's in a relegation fight with you, it's tough to get a win. So they showed character to beat Burnley. But yeah, like you said, it's so great to see Bale in the field starting, because I think if you have Bale and Son and Kane up front, I mean, that's goals.
It's devastating. You've got Sjoberg feeding that, playing that kind of attacking kind of play. Let's talk about the weakest performance of the weekend. Undoubtedly, Chelsea up against Manchester United.
If you couldn't sleep yesterday, or you're still struggling to sleep, just go watch that game, and they'll easily put you to sleep. So I mean, no need for sleeping pills or anything. But yeah, so both sides seem to park the bus, and it looked like no one to lose that game. But it also looked like no one to win it as well. So yeah, frustrating. I think obviously I was hoping for a Chelsea win, but yeah, it's better than a loss. But like I said, I'm more frustrated with the performance than anything else from both sides.
Yeah, no, completely. It didn't look like either team was playing for anything other than a Champions League spot. Coach Cookie, stick around. There's a few other performances I want to get your take on. A bit of a review with one of the best in the business. You can let us know if you're a super fan out there and you want to get onto this couch. Let us know. It might take you 2 years like it did Kutle, but just keep trying. We'd love to hear from you as well.
Thank you, Graham. It's just before 7. Let's look at those national headlines. In his address to the nation last night, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that more than 67,000 health workers had been vaccinated in 10 days. He said they expected that phase 2 of the vaccination drive, which will include the elderly, essential workers, and those with comorbidities, will start in late April. As a new batch of the 80,000 Johnson & Johnson vaccines arrived in the country this weekend, the number of vaccination sites will increase from 17 to 49 sites this week. And staying with the president's address last night, from today, South Africa will ease restrictions on curfew, alcohol sales and gatherings as it moves to alert level 1. President Cyril Ramaphosa said the country had now clearly emerged from the second wave, with fewer than 10,000 new infections in the past week, compared to 40,000 in the last week of January and 90,000 in the last week of December. The wearing of masks in public places is still mandatory, and failure to do so remains a criminal offence. And we now move to news abroad, where Lady Gaga's dogs have been returned unharmed after they were stolen, and her dog walker was shot and wounded in Hollywood last week. On Wednesday, Gaga's dog walker, Ryan Fisher, was shot 4 times, and her French bulldogs, Koji and Gustavo, was stolen as he walked them in Hollywood. But 2 days later, the dogs were found, and Fisher's said to be recovering while in hospital. Fisher's family expressed their thanks to Lady Gaga for showing nothing but non-stop love and concern for the dog walker after the incident. And to news beyond our own borders, where families in northwest Nigeria's Zamfara state are desperately waiting for news of their kidnapped daughters after more than 300 schoolgirls were taken by gunmen from government schools on Friday, the latest in a series of mass school abductions to hit the country. With police coordinating a joint rescue operation with the military and helicopters combing the forest, a number of government ministers have arrived in Zamfara. The girls' abduction has caused international outrage, with the United Nations chief calling for the girls' immediate and unconditional release. And now for some news from the world of entertainment. The hit 1990s TV show Frasier, which ran for 11 seasons in the US between 1993 and 2004 and bagged 37 Emmy Awards, including 5 for Best Comedy Series, is set to return. It starred Kelsey Grammer as a pedantic psychiatrist and is also one of the US most successful sitcoms to date. In South Africa, too, it was watched weekly by many thousands. Grammer confirmed the show's revival. David Staff, president of CBS Studios, said there had been a call from fans the world over for its return, and that call is now answered. Dr. Frasier Cranes first appeared in another hit TV show, Cheers, and the spin-off series charted his return to his hometown of Seattle to care for his cranky father, played by John Mahoney, who sadly passed away in 2018. The show also followed Frasier's relationships with, amongst others, the brother Niles, played by David Hyde Pierce, and English housekeeper Daphne Moon, played by Jane Leaves. It's not known if they will return. Meanwhile, it's also been announced that another hit show from the 1990s, Sex and the City, would also be returning. Well, someone else that will be returning to your screens right now is Graham with another look at the sport.
I'm not quite that old. Sorry, I'm not quite that old. Let's start with the cricket news first. Of course, the big one this weekend. After a scintillating tournament, the Lions have been crowned the CSA T20 Challenge champions. That was after beating the Dolphins by 4 wickets at Kingsmead in Durbs yesterday. The Dolphins won the toss, chose to bat, and Protea bowler Kagiso Rabada was on fire, picking up 3 wickets as the Lions were restricted. They restricted the Dolphins to just 107 runs. The Lions reaching that target, winning the match with 1 over to spare. Then on to local rugby, also returning in the form of preparation matches this weekend as the Lions, Cheetahs, Bulls and Sharks all recorded wins. On Friday, the Lions beat the Pumas 32-28. On Saturday, the Stormers suffered a narrow 34-33 defeat in their new stadium, the Cape Town City Stadium, of course, at the hands of the Cheetahs, a match that they really should have won. Defending Super Rugby unlocked and Currie Cup champions, the Bulls, they thumped newcomers EP Elephants 87-10 at Loftus Versfeld. And in the final match of the weekend, the Sharks, they claimed a 35-10 victory over the Griquas. Staying with rugby, Super Rugby Aotearoa kicked off this weekend with the reigning champions, the Crusaders, picking up where they left off, overcoming the Highlanders 26-13 in that season opener. Then in our second Aotearoa fixture, the Blues looked incredibly strong, beating the Hurricanes 31-16 to go top of the log. Then in the Australian domestic competition, the defending champions, the Brumbies, they thrashed the Waratahs 61-10, a very surprising scoreline to top the standings there. And the Reds showed a cool head, edging out the Rebels with a man off the field, 23-21, the final result there. Then bringing it back home to local footballing action, Orlando Pirates have advanced to the quarterfinals of the Nedbank Cup. That was after they came from a goal down to beat Maritzburg United 3-1 at the Harry Gwala Stadium in Pietermaritzburg. In other Nedbank Cup last 16 results, Chippa United edged out Cape Town City FC 2-1 after extra time. Black Leopards, they beat Amazulu 1-0, and Chikuma overcame Swallows 4-3 on penalties to advance to the quarterfinals. Then staying with the beautiful game, Manchester City are playing the game beautifully. They've now made it 20 successive victories in all competitions after beating fellow top 6 side West Ham United 2-1 at the Etihad in the English Premier League last night or yesterday. City have now moved 12 points clear at the top of the standings. And other results, goals from David Luiz, Alexander Lacazette and Nicolas Pepe, helping Arsenal to what many consider a surprise 3-1 win at Leicester Manchester City in a very entertaining clash. The same couldn't be said of the encounter between Chelsea and Manchester United as they played out to a lackluster goalless draw. Tottenham Hotspur, they returned to form, and incredible form at that, in the league after losing 5 of their previous 6 games by crushing Burnley 4-0. Gareth Bale scoring 2 as he got a rare start for the encounter. And then Liverpool defeating Sheffield United to get back to winning ways as well. 2-0 the scoreline there. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take another look at your beautiful sunrise pictures.
And we love seeing how you start your day. So for today, since it's 7 o'clock, for your weather update, we are sharing this photo from Lethlaw Bridget from Nailstrom, also known as Modimole. Now you can expect a partly sunny and pleasant day ahead, reaching a maximum of 27 degrees Celsius. Next, we head to KZN, where Vincent Lutuli from Umgababa showing the sun pushing through a cloudy sky. Expect a partly cloudy day, reaching a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. Please keep interacting with us on our social media platforms by sharing your gorgeous sunrise photos and your location with us so that we can share it on your Feel Good Breakfast show. And while we are enjoying experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the US. So this morning we report on the weather from Luanda, the capital and largest city in Angola. The climate is warm to hot, but surprisingly dry owing to the cool Benguela current, which prevents moisture from easily condensing into rain. Today you can expect a warm day, reaching a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. A quick news update for you. Russia launched its space satellite Arktika M yesterday on a mission to monitor the climate and environment in the Arctic amid a push by the Kremlin to expand the country's activities in the region. The Arctic has warmed more than twice as fast as the global average over the last 3 decades, and Moscow is seeking to develop the energy-rich region, investing in the Northern Sea route for shipping across its long northern flank as the ice melts. Now, at the right orbit, the satellite will be able to monitor and take images every 15 to 30 minutes of the Arctic, and will also be able to retransmit distress signals from ships, aircrafts, or people in remote areas as part of an international satellite-based search and rescue program. Russia plans to send up a second satellite in the year 2023, and combined, the two will offer round-the-clock all-weather monitoring of the Arctic Ocean and the surface of the Earth. Well, that's where we leave your news for now. Let's quickly look at those temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 14 with a high of 23 can be expected for today. Mbombela 18, reaching a high of 24. Partly cloudy in Pretoria, 13 with a high of 26. Sunny conditions in Johannesburg, 13 with a high of 24. Partly cloudy in Mahikeng with a high of 26. Klerksdorp 12 met 'n maximum van 27. Kimberley 15 met 'n maximum van 30. Deels bewolk in Bloemfontein met 'n maximum van 27. Rain is expected in Richards Bay today with a high of 26. Pietermaritzburg partly cloudy, 14 with a high of 27. Durban 21, reaching a high of 27. Mthatha 13, 29. East London 20 with a high of 27. Thunder showers can be expected in Cradock, a low of 16, a high of 34. Gqeberha 20 is your low today, your high 28. George 21, reaching a high of 31. Partly cloudy conditions for Cape Town, 18 with a high of 27. Worcester 18 with a high of 35. If you're in Sutherland, 14 is your low, 27 your high, and partly cloudy conditions in Uppington. A low of 19 with a high of 33 degrees Celsius. This is where we leave your weather for now. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo that you'd love to share with us, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page. And one of our regulars, Alan Rudnicki, he's joining us now via video call.
Oh yes, indeed, Miss Zoe Brown. You know that we love interacting with and getting to know our viewers a little better. And this morning, like Zoe said, we are chatting with Alan Rudnicki, who has become one of our regular sunrise photo contributors for our weather report. So a very good morning to you, Mr. Alan. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Good morning. I'm actually very well this morning. I worked 12-hour night shift. Yeah, going for a bit of a dip this morning, but yeah, I'm very good.
Wow, Ellen.
Are you jealous? Are you jealous?
One way to make Nature Boy jealous. I got to say, I want your office. But listen, brother, thank you so much, obviously, for sending in all those magic pictures that you do. You brighten up the studio. You brighten up my heart as well. And you sharing it with Mzansi just puts an extra smile on everyone's face, man. But when did you actually start watching the show? And how long have you been watching?
Well, basically when you guys started. Can't really remember, but it was basically when you guys started. I started watching then. Now and again, when I'm not at home or not near the TV, I watch on YouTube. So since you guys started, so long ago.
Oh, day one.
Day one,
respect,
the OG coming through. Besides hearing your name every single time for the weather report, what have been some of your favorite segments, or just maybe the memories that have stood out from you from the show, from the first day that you watched it?
Anything to do with the cooking. I love cooking. I eat a lot. My cooking skills aren't wonderful. So, yeah, exactly. So, I can burn rice. Yeah, you know what I mean. So anything you guys are able to teach, and I try and cook. The cooking is obviously one of the better things for me. I love the doggies. I love any animals. So of course, your dogs put a good smile on the face in the morning, especially before work. And all the presenters. It's just you guys make everyone, I think, in the whole country smile. So yeah.
So listen, Ellen, obviously I've mentioned it before, but I've got to say it again. Your pictures are incredible. You really, really just brighten up the studio. But I've got to ask you, are you an actual trained photographer? Or is this just like a hobby of yours, that's something that you just picked up and love?
No, I'm not trained at all. If you want to call it self-taught. So I'm completely self-taught. I've got some friends who are photographers. I might ask for a bit of advice, but I learned from day one, which is probably now about 4 years ago. And if I look back at my photos then to compare them to now, So I'm only an amateur. I do this as a complete hobby.
You could have fooled us, eh?
Yeah, we are here for the growth, we are here for the globe, and all those pictures. Like Riley and I said, we have FOMO right now. We wish our office looked like yours, but maybe you can share with us how your morning looks like this morning.
Okay, I'm just going to flip the screen, and you're more than welcome to come join me. That's exactly where I am. So this is Bloberg Beachfront.
Wow.
It's fairly dark, so Bloberg Beachfront. I'll sort of pan around a bit.
And Ellen, has the sun
currently the only one.
Has the sun peeked through yet, or is it still about a ping?
I'm going to turn around. Behind me, there is a little bit of a U, and you should see a bit of the glare.
Oh yeah, I can see that pre-burn. It's going to look like a magic sunrise. You're in the perfect spot for it. I'm assuming you're going to see Table Mountain light up from the sun when it does rise, as well as the sunrise itself. So you are primed for a beautiful picture, which I'm hoping you're going to send through to us.
Yeah, I can take a photo and then send it to you a bit later.
Maybe of you in the water as well.
Do that.
Or wait for us. We finish at 9 o'clock. We'll come get you there, okay? In our Speedos. Well, not me. I'll just watch you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm sure this water at Bloberg is going to be cold, so I will not film myself go in. If you want me to go in, I'll take a big dip, but I will not film it.
They say Bloberg is this cold.
Really? Cold immersion. Think of this as cold immersion. You'll feel way better.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm probably there's probably 2 or 3 other people on the beach, so it's really quiet, just the sound of the waves. So yeah, it's looking good.
Well, Ellen, we're seeing more of your photos in the studio right now, and it is just lighting up our soul and making Jamie and I book the first Uber out of here. When we're done, we'll probably see you on the beach. I know the water is cold, but it looks absolutely worth it, man. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing your magic with us this morning.
Anytime. If you want me to wait here, I'll get some coffee, and if it's not too long, I'll hang around.
Again, a huge
I just got to show you one thing.
Oh,
yes, please do. Go ahead.
I'm trying to turn the phone around, sorry. Where is he?
The little doggy.
There's the dog. Yeah, there's a dog there.
Oh, it's following you.
He's telling you where to go.
He actually came up to me. He actually came up to me, but now he's gone. He's gone with Mummy.
He must have recognized you from TV, Alan, and he saw you on Expresso 9. He's like, oh, that's Alan. Yeah, dogs does that now and again.
Yeah. So I worked night shift last night. I sped home quickly to put on some clothes. I might look a bit tired, but I think this fresh sea air is like sort of waking me up. But thank you very much for having me, and thank you on behalf of South Africa, for putting a smile on everyone's face in the morning.
Ah, man, Ellen, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for staying awake. I know you have been working around the clock, of course, like you mentioned, but we really do appreciate it. I know you're going to earn a beautiful little nap after this, but keep sending your pictures through.
Yeah.
And for you, Mzansi, as well, keep following Ellen's lead and share your beautiful pictures with us. And we want to thank you again for taking the time to catch up with us, and we are looking so forward to seeing more of your stunning photos, Ellen.
Oh, thanks so much. And you guys have a good, I think the sun's actually coming up, but you guys have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks again to everyone. Thanks, everyone.
South Africa, of course, if you are an avid Expresso fan and have a story to tell, email us your details to expresso@cordova.tv. And who knows, we could be catching up with you next week right here on the show. Stick around. We have so much more magic coming your way.
Making it to 2021 is a triumph. So celebrate with Immuenza and stand a chance to win 5,000 Rand weekly for 5 weeks. Now keep boosting your immune system with Immuenza and tell us your survival story and what protected you from, say, a lion attack to a parachute fail. We want to hear your amazing stories. Reply to Immuenza's competition post on Afternoon Express's Facebook or Twitter pages. And note that this competition runs until midnight, the 17th of March 2021. T's and C's can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Mabatu Mashaba is a child of God, a worshipper, a minister, and a gospel singing sensation. The sound checks this morning have been truly magical. Her love and her passion for music started at a very tender age in a home village in the Limpopo province. And today she is a very well-established and well-loved gospel recording artist. Mabatu is here to chat about how she is starting the year off on a very positive and a hopeful note with her latest single, Moba Gona, which she'll be performing a little bit later as part of our Gospel Monday celebration. You sound phenomenal. I cannot wait for your performances. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. You are a ray of light. I'm loving what you are wearing. Your sound check is amazing. We've been teasing our viewers of what to expect. But for people that don't know where your journey started, where your love for music came from, do you mind giving us a little insight to that?
Okay, so I'm a PK, what they call a PK pastor's kid. I grew up in the church. And so it's sort of something that I was eventually expected to do. But I fell in love with it. My mother is a singer and she's a worshiper. So I basically just loved seeing her pouring her heart before God, loving to serve the people in the church. And that just made me really want to do this thing that she's doing. It just looked so amazing. Funny enough, I didn't even know if I could sing or not. She kept pushing and pushing. And next thing I know, I'm actually in the choir. I'm leading the choir. She's taking a back seat now. And the rest is history. I really just love God and I love to worship God.
That's beautiful.
It must be such a joy to be able to express. And yes, you obviously have to have considerable talent to be able to let yourself go in that space. Could you have done anything else? Was this always written in the stars for you?
Look, I didn't think I had what it took to do it. So I did study something on the side. Funny enough, it's sort of an option that I had to take, a second option, because I couldn't
Plan
do
B,
what,
yeah.
yes. But it's something I love. I'm into communications and events, so it's something that I do on the side. But something that just keeps calling me back is worship. I mean, there was a time I did it and I thought, no, you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. And there would just be these great songs that God would wake me up at night, you know, that's how I get my songs. So, and I'd be like, yo, where should this one go, you know? So I think that it's sort of in the plan of God for me, because I try to run away from it, pushing events and all. But there's no place like being in the presence of God and being able to just pour your heart before God, and also getting an audience that actually receives that. That's just so amazing.
And now you have to sleep with a pen and paper next to your bed.
and a recorder, hey?
He speaks to you through your dreams.
Yeah.
I love that. And I know you said you grew up in the church. You're a, what you label yourself, a PK, a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
I know that doing outreach drives are also very important. Do you mind
Yes.
shedding some light on the Pour Out Worship Jesus Outreach Drive?
Okay, so this is my third album. We've titled it, it's sort of a journey or a documentary. We call it the Pour Out Worship Encounter. And what we've done is that we started in Pretoria, where I'm based, and we went sort of around the country. We've not come here to Cape Town as yet, but we would have loved to do it. So we went to Pretoria, we went down to my hometown in Beresford, and we went to Polokwane. And God just opened the door for us to go to Kimberley. There's a small community there called Bloemfontein, where you've got your Khoisans, as they are called. And we were just intrigued by their way of life. We thought, yo, these people. But one thing we picked up as we were going around that place is that they had a need. There was a lot of impoverished people or homes there. And we thought, how can we assist? Is there a way that we can give back? So what we did is we went back there with food parcels, and we had an outreach at their community showgrounds, and they came out. We were giving out food parcels to the families, and there was even an outreach drive at the time, because they had a lot of gender-based violence there, and it was at the time there was a kid that was missing. Oh. And it was so overwhelming. I couldn't hold myself. So we sort of pushed the drive to also focus on this child. I think she was called Melissa. They couldn't find her for a long time, and the community came out to try and find her. When they did find her, obviously she was long gone, but it was a gender-based violence, a gruesome one.
And the South African narrative.
Yeah, it was so heartbreaking. But what I loved is that the people there were just so open to God, and their hearts are just, they love God. To this day, they follow me. If I have a show anyway, they want to know, can we come? It was just so amazing. And the funny thing is that we didn't necessarily understand each other, because it's a language that I'm not very exposed to. But somehow they were just responding very well, and that was heartwarming.
The language of love.
Seek comfort from the Word of God.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming to share a little bit of your story and your considerable talent with us this morning. We are so looking forward to all of your performances. I know Mobakwana is going to be the big crescendo at the end of the show, but we're going to send you off to our performance area right now so that you can go and do what you do best. We are so happy to have Mabatu Mashaba as our very special guest here today. She is a mother of 4, a wife, a career woman, very driven and highly acclaimed South African gospel recording artist. She is a superwoman indeed, and she'll be now blessing us with a performance of the song Wamuhle.
Oh
Ndaba, thank you for blessing us with that. 2 more performance headed your way this morning. You want to stick around for that. Coach Cookie is back in the hot seat on the other side of this. We'll see you now.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Time to have a little bit of fun. Video creator and rugby coach Kutle Sonkosi's hilarious pre- and post-match commentary on everything from actual sports, yes, he does cover that, to Christmas lunch, doing the dishes, even having a braai, have all gone viral, and understandably, his unbelievably funny videos have even caught the attention of Rugby World Cup winning Springbok Sia Khaleesi. So we thought we'd now engage on a number of burning sports topics with Coach Cookie right now. So welcome back. Fabulous performance, first of all, this morning. Well done.
Thanks, Graham. Thanks. It's good to be back in the show. But yeah, ready to get cracking.
We got to ask, obviously, the climate, all sports at the moment being played under the veil of levels of lockdown, a bold move to level 1 today. How's the team feeling about that?
Yeah, we feel happy. I think the main thing for us is that the curfew's been extended. Obviously, we get to stay a little bit longer. And if someone like Raul, you're happy that it ends at 4 a.m. so you can go hiking in the mountains at 4:30 in the morning. So it's a win-win for everyone.
It definitely is. Now, Cookie, I've got to ask you more on a specific note. I've been watching the Matrix and the journey they've gone through. It's been a tough fought battle. They've eventually succeeded that, and they kind of seems to be like a good result. What's your take on that?
Yeah, listen, proud for the Matrix. First of all, I know Spur was busy the next day. All the kids are celebrating. Parents taking them out for dinner, as my parents did now past my Matric. But yeah, I'm happy for the kids. We know on a journey. It's 12 years to finally get to the end and see your name in the paper is amazing.
You passed Matric.
That's okay with it, Graham.
Obviously, you hail from a town previously known as Port Elizabeth, now known as Oiberga. How's the team feeling about the name change? How are they handling?
First of all, we had to go for lessons to pronounce the name. I think that was the first thing. The whole of form of PE, we all had to obviously get used to the name. Now it's called the GQ. Obviously, now when you book a flight, now I book a flight to Port Elizabeth. So who knows where I'm going? So I want to go home. So yeah, the team's feeling good, positive. Obviously, a few guys who can't say the name, they're a bit worried. But yeah, happy to go back to the GQ.
I'm building on that question. Obviously, a very different social scene in the GQ, as you quite pointed out. How have you been handling as a unit and yourself individually? And if you look at your individual performance, the social scene in Cape Town, have you scored?
Yeah, I think it's a little different here in Cape Town. I think one thing I realized in Cape Town is because not much complaining. You don't have to whine when you got a million wine farms here. So everyone is happy. I think I look at P. Obviously, you have the win there. I mean, it's tough to be happy when you're getting blown away. But yeah, in Cape Town, obviously, like whenever you're bored, you just look up the mountain. You find yourself staying at the mountain for an hour or two. But in P, obviously, means the scene is different. I'm a lot busier here in Cape Town. But yeah, listen. It's going to be hard to go home, but unfortunately I've got to leave the mountain. Obviously, I took a couple of rocks with me, so yeah, it should be fine.
And a few bottles.
Of course, Coach, more specifically to you, I mean, your team is great, but you're a man in demand, obviously flying all the way to Cape Town right now. You bailed on the mountains with me. I wanted to know, was it a pressure moment that came up to you? Was it cold feet or not feeling prepared? Or was it maybe the Cape Town heat? What got you to just have that cold feet right at the end zone?
Listen, first of all, it's never personal, it's just business. Obviously, I looked at the mountain. Obviously, I did my research first of all, and I realized that I don't know if I can keep up with you. Also, I don't want to embarrass you. You know, obviously, that's your scene. I think, obviously, you're the captain of the mountains in Cape Town. I think sometimes as a captain, you got to know your place and know your role. I think I said I'll stick to the wine farms and let you keep the mountain.
And I heard you had a bit of a wobble in the middle of your innings in the wine farms, but you seem to right yourself, so well done for that. Obviously, you're part of a touring squad here, having to gel with a new team, finding that balance. What is your take on the performance of the Expresso team now that you've come down to the mother city?
Listen, when you see it live, you appreciate it more. You see it live, you see the cohesiveness, the vibe is here. I'm a person that likes to bring vibe. I think the vibe is great, great people. But yeah, like I said, when you see it live, it feels like you're home. So that's the one thing about this place that I enjoy.
You've obviously been able to share the crease with someone that you've proclaimed as one of your heroes, a certain sports anchor that you've obviously looked up to for the majority of your sporting career. He's known as a pinch hitter, guy hits for the fences, often at the detriment of the rest of the team. Was obviously on fire in the previous encounter. What do you make of your idol's performance?
Yeah, I thought Ra's been amazing. When you get to see him face to face, it changes everything. Obviously, you know, Graham has been part of. I've known Graham for a long time, and but like I said, Raul, listen, when you see him operate live, it's something special, you know. Obviously, I look at the rankings. There's Raul, there's Jamie, there's Zoe. Tubbs, he's amazing. Oh, Graham, but I must say, amazing.
Tubbs playing off the bench. He's playing off the bench. He's injured at the moment.
Cookie, listen, man. You're charismatic. You're a leader. You inspire. You are full of wisdom. What wisdom do you have as a captain of your team for the rest of Mzansi? Some motivation for Monday as you do it best. What do you have for the people?
All I can say from Mzansi is just gotta get through Monday. Once you get through Monday, everything else is. Everything else goes downhill from there. If there's a public holiday coming up at the end of the month, so that keeps me motivated. Obviously, we all love an extra day of work, but yeah, like I said, be positive and have a good day.
Just a one-word answer. I know, obviously, a bold decision to wear the shirt that you did on previous Friday. Now, retrospect, are you regretting that decision?
No, definitely not. I just got a feeling whatever shirt I wear, you're going to give me a grief on. So I've come to that conclusion now.
Buddy, as long as Spurs keep winning, you can keep coming back, my friend. You can keep coming back. Kutle, what an absolute pleasure, man. We'll stay connected with you on our social media platforms, as every South African should stay connected with you. Keep doing the good work that you do, and it's been just an absolute joy to have you here, man. I've taken a lot of stick for how excited I've been to have you here. He's a big, beautiful man, and we love having him here. Well done, bro.
Coach Cookie in studio. And speaking of Cookie, I think there's a lot of us when it looks at sweet treats and food in general. We wanted to know from you today, when we asked you the question on Facebook, what is your relationship with food like? And a few of you had some interesting responses.
Certainly, let's take a look at them. We start with Belinda Francis. She says, good morning, Expresso family. Food is sexy on my plate, even giving us that in love eyes, because yes, it is. It fills all the boxes.
I can imagine when she serves dinner or makes her lunch, she actually dresses the plate quite well.
We're thinking that way then.
No, yes, I'm thinking like edible flowers, like anything that just looks pretty on the eye.
And sexy, definitely. We have another one from Law and Day saying, as much as I hate cooking, but food and I got a very strong relationship. Even got a crying emoji there, because it is. It's a strong relationship. We love to hate it, but we love it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's also quite difficult to have to constantly cook, and especially if you're cooking only for one, it's not as enjoyable as cooking for two or more.
Definitely. Another one coming through from Michelle Peterson saying, good morning, Expresso family. Food has been my worst nightmare ever since the lockdown started. I've been eating very unhealthy and gained a lot of weight. We hear you, but it's okay. We're going to have some useful advice from Asha Dulab to share how we can maybe navigate that unhealthiness into a more healthy and positive way of life. And the last one coming through from Angel saying, very, very good.
Very, very good indeed. Well, hopefully those comments will really, hopefully the rest of the show will help you, maybe change your perspective on your relationship with food. And as Jamie said, Asha will be joining us a bit later. But for now, it is time for us to head on over to the kitchen, because there's a very, very special birthday.
Very special indeed. And of course, we're celebrating with the good stuff, and it's food, and it's the highlight of our show this morning, and it's called the apple crumble. Now, it's a no-fuss favorite that works as well for dessert with a big scoop of ice cream as it does for breakfast with some plain yogurt. Now, in the house today, we have a very, very special 9-year-old. Her name is Maggie Ulyati, and her mom, Teresa, is here, and they are showing us how it's done. And before we get any of the good stuff, we've got to do something. It's Maggie's birthday! Happy birthday, Maggie! Happy birthday to you. Yay, Maggie, how are you feeling today? It's your birthday on live TV. How old are you today? 9 years old. Wow. That's your last single digit, and the next year it's double digits. 10 years.
Oh gosh.
Whoa, are you ready? So we're going to make this year count. So let's start off doing something special. Maggie, you ready? I believe this is your favorite as well, right? Okay, cool. You're going to teach me because, Maggie, I think you're a lot better than me in the kitchen than I am. So I'm going to need your mom and your help as much as possible here. So where are we starting, Maggie? What's happening?
Well, Mom has to make the apples next?
Yes, yeah. So we're doing an apple crumble. So there's 2 components.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing the apple, and Maggie's going to do the crumble for us.
Okay.
And this is something that she's just learned how to do at home, and she
You've learned
chose
how
the
to make an
recipe
apple
today.
crumble? No way.
Yes.
At 9. Wow. That's quite cool. Okay, let's go.
Do you want to get going on the crumble? So we've got some butter in the bowl, and we're going to add some flour, some oats, and some brown sugar.
Okay. And if a 9-year-old can do it, I've got no excuse, right?
Oh my
Teresa?
gosh, no excuses. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And it's one of those recipes that's just so delicious when it's homemade.
Yeah.
And this is a great one because we've added oats into the crumbles. It gives it a bit of texture and flavor.
Nature Boy likes that as well. Low GI oats. That's good for energy throughout the day as well. So that's absolutely magic.
Exactly.
And of course, I've got something coming through a little bit later. But before we get into it, I want to find out something. Do you guys always cook together in the show?
We have done before, but we're cooking more at home now.
Sorry, I mean at home, not on the show. This is the first time. I mean, sorry, at home. Is this like a normal for you guys to cook?
Yeah. I mean, Maggie's really interested in cooking, and so we're doing it more and more.
Okay.
And she's learning to do new things every week. We've done scones and all sorts of different
I need to spend some time with you and Maggie in the kitchen. I'm a bit jealous here. Maggie, you can
It's a
do
lot
so
of fun.
much.
It's a little bit messy, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, that's the best part. If I've learned anything from Chef Clem, it's make a big mess. That means you did some work in the kitchen. Do you make a lot of mess in the kitchen, Maggie?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, okay.
We're teaching her the cleaning up as well. We're trying.
Right. So where are we at with this recipe? So Maggie's obviously making the crumble part,
Yes.
right?
So you use your fingertips and you just rub everything together. It will be quite dry at first, but if you keep going, everything will get coated in the butter. And once it starts clumping together, then you know it's ready.
Then you know it's ready. And on your side,
And
you've got the
I've
apples.
melted some butter, and I've added our apples. So you peel the apples and cut them into chunks, and then just toss them in the butter and cook them for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to add some other delicious ingredients. So some brown sugar, that little bit of sweetness, and then I'm going to add some cinnamon and then just a touch of nutmeg.
Okay.
It really adds to the flavor.
That's got that like warmth, that like homely feel. For me, especially like cinnamon and I don't know, it's just got that spiciness to it, which I absolutely love.
It's that sort of comforting, homely flavor.
Also, the ingredients you're using seem very much like the common thing that you'd find at home. It's not like I have to go out my way to find an ingredient for this. It's something that I can easily do at home with whatever I have in the pantry.
All pantry staples, exactly. And it's nice and quick and easy to whip up.
Maggie, you having fun there? On your birthday? On live TV? Oh, at 9 years old, man, you are just doing the things. Maggie,
do you want me to give you a hand? Are you doing all right there?
I'm doing all right.
You're doing a good job, yeah.
Good.
Getting it all in there. And this is such a great thing for the kids to do and get their hands in there, get messy. And
yeah. And then hopefully, Teresa, one day you won't have to cook again because your
that's
your
my
kids
plan,
can just...
really.
They can just
I'm
sort
handing
of
over.
for the rest of it.
So these you want to cook for about 10 minutes.
Okay.
They are going to soften, and you'll see the apples will start to release their juices, and it'll caramelize and get sticky. So you want them to be softened, but you don't want mush. So you still want a little bit of bite, a little bit of firmness.
Okay.
So that should be done in about 10 minutes.
So you still want to kind of see an apple. You don't want to see like puree or something coming.
Exactly.
Okay. It's not an apple pie.
Yeah. And it's still going to bake in the oven, so that will also soften
So
it.
so once you're done with this softening,
Yes,
right?
you're going to get something that looks like that. So you can see it still has its shape. It's still pretty firm,
Yes.
just a bit soft. And this is very small, but you're going to pop it into your dish, which you've greased.
Yeah.
And then you're just going to sprinkle your crumble on top, and that's going to go into the oven for half an hour. And you'll see the sauce will bubble up, the crumble will get nice and golden and crispy, beautiful, and then you have it with your custard or your vanilla ice cream, and it's just absolutely delicious.
All right.
Yeah, and you can make a big one, you can make little ones. whatever you feel like.
An OT apple crumble, and I'm just so impressed by Maggie's doing this so
some on
well
top?
that she's making me so hungry. It's looking so good, Maggie. Well done.
And we can smell this one as well. Oh,
I'm smelling the
it's amazing.
cinnamon, I'm smelling all the good stuff, and I'm smelling something special coming through, and I believe
Yes.
we've got a little bit of a surprise. Maggie, it's not every day that we have a 9-year-old baking for us on the show, on live TV, for the entire world and for Mzansi. So I thought, let's do something special. Because you're doing something for us, we've got something for you. Are you ready for it? It's a big special surprise. It's compliments from everybody at Expresso, just to say thank you for sharing your love on your special day and you giving us your time on your day. So we thought we'd celebrate with not only just this beautiful apple crumble, but I'd also made, guess what it is? What do you think we got for you? Okay, starts with the C, starts with the C. It's a cake! Yes, happy birthday, Maggie. Thank you so much. This is from us and the rest of the Expresso crew, from Zoe as well, our food stylist, everybody at home. We wanted to say thank you so much. Happy 9th birthday, and for blessing us on your day with your time and for teaching us how to cook in the kitchen. We can't say thank you enough. Are you going to blow out your candles?
I can't wait to try it.
It's amazing. Wow.
What
So
else?
chocolatey.
Maggie, are you going to have this? Are you going to share it with us? Or is this all for you?
Share.
Oh, yes!
You're forced to share. You're allowed to keep it. It's your cake.
Of course, well, guys, we've got a beautiful show coming up. The ExpressoShow.com if you want to find out about more of this magic. We just made an apple crumble, of course, and I'm getting into that party spirit, and I'm getting my clover on. I've got a classic clover. Zoe, would you like some too?
I am ready to try some of
You got the cake, we got the crumble, I've got the custard.
Proud of this recipe. I have to try it.
It is. I think we've got a party here, guys. While we get to it, you guys stick around for more of this magic.
Good. Looks so yum.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here on SABC3. Let's talk about makeup, because what makeup really is an art, especially when it comes to applying foundation for that flawless finish that we all want. Now, makeup artist Rushana Isaacs has a few must-know tricks up her sleeve, and who better than Kuthle had a front row seat to show us her how-to.
Last week, I met up with Rushana to talk about primers and the importance of prepping your skin before applying foundation. Today, she's going to be teaching us how to apply foundation flawlessly. Rushana, as soon as you walk into Woolworths, you see a variety of different foundations. Where do we even start to find the right foundation for our skin tones?
So it can definitely be very overwhelming. The first thing you actually want to do is find the perfect foundation for your skin type. Whether you are oily, dry, dehydrated, once you know which foundation is for you, then you would take 3 of the closest shades in that range on the jawline, so your face definitely matches your neck, because we can still add some lighter concealer to highlight the face. I stick to my W Beauty. It's absolutely amazing, and they already have 22 shades.
As soon as you applied the different swatches on her skin, initially I thought we'd go for the first one, but now I'm leaning towards the third one, right?
We're definitely going for the last one. This is shade Tan. The reason why I love this foundation is it is medium to full coverage, and also this is long wearing and SPF 20. Start in the middle of the face, because we don't want to be too cakey on the outer parts of the face, and then we start spreading out.
We may be in 2021, but there are some people out there still using their fingers to apply the foundation. I still use a sponge, but which tools are you using today?
I definitely think a brush. A sponge would usually soak up a lot of your product, and your hands can kind of change the complex of your foundation. So once you put it on your face, it's not really the same formula. We can definitely stop here, but I am obsessed with highlighting and contouring. A lot of people think it's to make yourself look slimmer. Yes, it does, but it definitely adds dimension to the face. And we're just gonna contour these cheekbones. We're gonna add some darker shades on top of the forehead. This is where the sun hits you, so usually people are naturally darker there. So now we're gonna go on to powders. This is perfect for the person that has more of an oily skin. We're gonna just powder up underneath the eyes, on the top lip. We need the glow, so don't powder all over. We're gonna do some blush on the cheeks, and then we're just gonna go in with our bronzer on top of our contour, just to set the contour and give it more of a golden glow. Last but not least, and this is definitely my favorite part, we're gonna go in with the brightening brick, which is our highlighter, and we're just going to place this on her cheekbones.
You're making it seem so effortless.
And there you have it.
That is it. Just like that, quick and easy. To all our W Rewards members, get up to 25% off foundations and primers, including brushes and sponges. The offer is available right now until the 7th of March. T's and C's do apply and can be found on woolworths.co.za.
Primer check, flawless foundation check. You're going to come back next week for a full glam with a makeup artist, Roshina Isaacs. And of course, we are looking flawless, but someone who's been looking very good, I think it might have to do with Golden Globe season, Mr. JP Sebastian. Who dat though?
Oh, well, listen, the man that's here to talk all things movies, and not just movie trailers releasing or movies. We are talking Golden Globes. JP Sebastian joining us and looking oh so dapper, like he just stepped off the red carpet himself.
This is my pallbearer look because I feel dead.
No, don't underplay it. You dressed up for this occasion because we're going to go through some of the winners.
I have a coffin in the parking lot for me. I've not slept watching these.
Okay, so the Golden Globes wrapped up at about now 6:15 when Expresso started. So you basically pulled an all-nighter watching everything.
Yeah, so just a word of advice to those who don't want to know the results so too soon. We're going to be talking about results, so put yourself on lockdown. I don't know, like close your ears and hum a song or something.
But for those who are watching right now and you really want to know what's happening with the Golden Globes, we are not pushing you away. So hopefully your coffee cups are filled up, because let's start off with the first category, which was supporting actor.
Yes, ma'am. And surprisingly, even though we had a lockdown year, it ended up being quite a good field. Sometimes it happens so much in the supporting because, you've got 2 leads and then you've got like 6 people to choose from in supporting. So the field is a bit better there sometimes. Sacha Baron Cohen is obviously also nominated for Borat, which is nice. Daniel Kaluuya, who we don't need to, he's doing so well for himself ever since Sicario back in the day. Then it was Black Panther, then it was, and then Judas and the Black Messiah, however, only got 1 nomination, which is a bit crazy because a lot of people are raving about that. Jared Leto spoke about the other day. He did his best with the character that was kind of underbaked. Bill Murray, career on the rocks probably, but no, not Bill Murray. We all love it.
That.
No, this is a vacation for him acting at this point. And Leslie Odom Jr., who is one of, I think, only 2 nominations for One Night in Miami, which was a pretty valiant attempt for Regina King directing there. So those are the sporting males.
So can we get a drum roll?
Oh, who's your money on? I don't have a
I think Jared Leto. What's his name? Sacha Baron Cohen.
Daniel Kaluuya won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor.
Well done.
Which is precisely what he deserved. The portrayal is powerful of Fred Hampton, and especially with these concerns of representation. All the hosts were talking at length about representation, irrespective of their skin color. But he, whether he was, purple or blue or whatever, he still deserved the Golden Globe.
Well
so
done.
Daniel Kaluuya, supporting male.
Amazing. Let's put our focus to our supporting actresses.
Yes, and again, so some of these names we saw very recently. Last year, in fact, it was Glenn Close with The Wife, which she was fantastic in.
She was.
I'm glad you saw it. Hillbilly Elegy, I I think a lot of people were sort of like, they felt betrayed that anyone would do this to her. You said that she looks like Miss Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, you've really like ruined one of my hemispheres in my brain. It just turned over like a goldfish. I don't know how you did that. Olivia Colman, who was last in The Favourite, and she won the Oscar for that. What an incredible actress. This is like a second role, and she's already knocking out the park. Jodie Foster, who I don't need to introduce, of course, the Mauritanian. She plays this lawyer in such an interesting way. I'm actually going to do a review on that maybe in a couple of weeks to come when it releases in South Africa. Amanda Seyfried for Mank, and then Helena Zengel.
The young one.
Yes, who, you know, what are the chances? But hey, honor enough to be in a crowd like this, I'd say.
So I think it's definitely between the top three. I feel like the bottom two are very young.
Well, yeah, obviously the makeup on Mrs. Doubtfire.
Can we get a drum roll? Who's the winner?
And the winner is... Jodie Foster goes home with the Golden Globe for the Mauritanian. What an incredible performance. I actually had the great privilege of speaking with her about the role, and we'll play that for you at some point in the future. However, there is something else that I'd like you to watch. Just take in her performance. This is such a consummate professional, and here she is playing lawyer in a way that most people aren't necessarily used to in the Mauritanian.
I care about you. What do you want me to sign, Nancy? Who am I suing today? God? No one today. Then why are you here? No reason in particular. I just didn't want you to be alone.
Doubtfire the side, don't rush, we'll rush.
Well done to Jodie Foster, walking away with that Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress. Let's quickly look at Lead Actor in a Comedy/Musical.
Made my life so miserable here because I tried to squeeze 4 categories. Why does the Golden Globe split by genre? So, Lead Actor in Comedy, your options are, including Borat, who was obviously also nominated for the Trial of Chicago 7, James Corden for The Prom, you saw, I can see you wincing.
Yes, I did see that with The Prom. I wasn't too impressed.
Let's move on then. Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton, which is a gigantic stage play that people just threw like huge amounts of money at, and then they turned it into a TV fiasco. Fiesta, I suppose, is the word. Dev Patel for The Personal History of David Copperfield, bringing to life and modernizing Dickens in such a fascinating way. And Andy Samberg, who from I'm on a Boat way back in the day on SNL, is actually doing very well for himself in his career, and that's his own little production company.
Very exciting. Let's get that drum roll in. Who is walking away with Best Lead in a Actor in a Comedy/Musical category?
My wife. It is Sacha Baron Cohen with Borat. This is his second Golden Globe for Borat. The last one obviously also took it for him. I don't know if this is the level of satire we're at. He's obviously deeply intelligent, but yeah, I think the last couple of 4 years screwed up our brains a bit, so we deserve all the Borat we can get.
Amazing. Well, JP Sebastian's not going anywhere because we have to take a look a little bit later about the Lead Actress in a Comedy and, of course, all the other categories. So that's coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on SABC3. JP Sebastian joining us. We're going to touch on the Golden Globe Awards coming up shortly, but first let's catch up with the Golden Globes of news. Here's Graham.
Thanks so much. So let's start here in South Africa, where matric learners have been encouraged to pursue rewriting the subjects they did not do well in instead of repeating the entire year or applying for a remark. Department spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga says there will be opportunities for matriculants to rewrite in June and in November. He said it would be difficult for matriculants to be accepted back in school, and as a result, they should rather pursue the Second Chance program, where they are also offered contact classes at teacher centres. He also advised matriculants to apply for a remark. In his address to the nation last night, President Cyril Ramaphosa announced that more than 67,000 health workers had been vaccinated in 10 days. He said he expected that phase 2 of the vaccination drive, which will include the elderly, essential workers and those with comorbidities, will start in late April, as a new batch of the 80,000 Johnson & Johnson vaccines arrived in the country this weekend. The number of vaccination sites will now increase from 17 to 49 sites over this week. On the international front, Zimbabwe's President Emerson Mnangagwa says the country may consider mandatory COVID-19 vaccinations following resistance by the population to take the jab. He said people won't be forced to be vaccinated, but will be denied privileges if they are not vaccinated. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has said Nigeria can this week expect its first 4 of 14 million doses of coronavirus vaccines from the global COVAX program for poor and middle-income countries. Nigeria plans to inoculate 40% of the population this year and then 30% more in 2022. A story that we broke last week: Lady Gaga's dogs have been returned unharmed after they were stolen, and her dog walker was shot and wounded in Hollywood last week. On Wednesday, Gaga's dog walker, Ryan Fisher, was shot 4 times, and her French bulldogs, Koji and Gustavo, were stolen as he walked them in Hollywood. But 2 days later, the dogs were found, and Fisher's said to be recovering well in hospital. Fisher's family expressed their thanks to Gaga for showing them, we quote, nothing but non-stop love and concern for the dog walker after the incident. And now news of a truly unbelievable feat at sea. Some 70 days ago, we reported on Zirk Botha, a 59-year-old former SA naval combat officer, departing from Cape Town on a solo transatlantic rowing attempt to Brazil. Well, this morning, we can proudly tell you that Botha completed the crossing, and in record time, covering some 7,200 kilometers in the process. He was rowing for the planet and sustainable development, and he received a rousing welcome at the Rio de Janeiro Yacht Club, escorted by a flotilla of boats and welcomed by excited locals, many dignitaries and several members of the Brazilian media. Botha has now set world records as the first person to row the route alone and unsupported by any safety craft, and for the fastest row on the Cape to Rio route. The South African Consul General in Brazil, Tinyuko Kumalo, also congratulated Botha, and we quote, one can only imagine the challenges you faced and had to overcome during your solo unsupported journey as you navigated through the rough waters of the Atlantic Ocean for many days. What a brave man you are. The nation takes pride in your success. And we certainly echo those words as we round off our news headlines for this morning. Let's take one last look at our sporting lineup. And start with the cricket. It all came to a head locally this weekend as the Lions were crowned the CSA T20 Challenge champions. After beating the Dolphins by 4 wickets at Kingsmead in Durban yesterday, the Dolphins won the toss and chose to bat first, but Protea bowler Kagiso Rabada was on fire, picking up 3 wickets as the Lions restricted the Dolphins to just 107 runs. The Lions then reached their target, winning the match with 1 over to spare. Local rugby also returned in the form of preparation matches this weekend as the Lions, the Cheetahs, the Bulls and Sharks all recorded wins. So on Friday, the Lions beat the Pumas 32-28. On Saturday, the Stormers suffered a narrow 34-33 defeat to the Cheetahs in their first home game in their new stadium. Defending Super Rugby Unlocked and Currie Cup champions, the Bulls, well, they thumped the newcomers EP Elephants 87-10 at Loftus Versfeld. And in the final match of the weekend, the Sharks claimed another hard-fought 35-10 victory over the Griquas. And staying with rugby, Super Rugby Aotearoa kicked off this weekend with the reigning champions, the Crusaders, picking up where they left off, overcoming the Highlanders with an impressive performance, 26-13 in the season opener. In the second Aotearoa fixture, the Blues looked incredibly strong, beating the Hurricanes 31-16 to go top. So in the Australian domestic competition as well, the defending champions, the Brumbies, they absolutely obliterated the Waratahs 61-10 to top the standings. That while last year's finalists, the Reds, they edged out the Rebels 23-21. Now bringing it back home for footballing news, Orlando Pirates are one of the few big guns left in the competition. They advanced to the quarterfinals of the Nedbank Cup after they came from a goal down to beat Maritzburg United 3-1. That was at the Harry Gwala Stadium in Pietermaritzburg. In other Nedbank Cup last 16 results, Chippa United edged out Cape Town City FC 2-1. And after extra time, Black Leopards pulled off a surprise win, beating Amazulu 1-0. And Chakuma, they overcame Swallows 4-3 on penalties to also book their spot in the quarterfinals. And staying with the beautiful game, few are playing it better than Manchester City. They made it 20 successive victories in all competitions after beating fellow top six sides West Ham United 2-1 at the Etihad, and that of course in the English Premier League. City have now moved 12 points clear at the top of the standings. Now the results, goals from David Luiz, Alexander Lacazette and Nicolas Pepe helped Arsenal to what many consider a surprise 3-1 win at Leicester City in a very entertaining clash. The same can't be said for Chelsea and Manchester United, who played out to a lackluster goalless draw. Tottenham Hotspur, they returned to form in style in the league after losing 5 of their previous 6 games by crushing Burnley 4-0. Gareth Bale getting a rare start there and scoring 2 in the process. And Liverpool also got back to winning ways, defeating Sheffield United 2-0. That's where we leave our sporting results for our Monday morning as well. Let's take one last look at the weather.
Thank you so much, Chi, for that sports update, but also thank you to you for all your stunning images and sharing those images with us. If you'd like to be featured, all you have to do is head on over to the Expresso Facebook page to share your photo and also your location. Now, we started off with Merlin Phillips from George and this golden skyline. We then also headed to Joburg, where regular Ntokozo Theo Makatini shared this cloudy photo with us. Letle Gonolo Bridget from Nailstrom shared this photo of the sun peeking through the clouds. And then last but definitely not least, Vincent Lutuli from Umgababa KZN shared this golden yet moody photo with us this morning. Again, thank you to each and every one of you that have taken the time to share your sunrise photos with us. Remember to please continue sharing them on our Facebook page as well as your location, and you may just see yourself featured in our sunrise segment. Now, while we do enjoy experiencing a sunrise from your part of South Africa, we do have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the USA, and we wrap up your weather bulletin featuring Santa Fe, the capital of the state of New Mexico. Now, it is considered one of the world's greatest art cities due to its many art galleries and installations, and is recognized by UNESCO's Creative Cities Network. Now, today's weather conditions will be mostly cloudy and chilly, reaching a maximum of only 7 degrees Celsius. Now we focus on the turtles. Now, thousands of cold-stunned turtles were rescued as temperatures dropped to a record low in the U.S. state of Texas last month. They are now being returned to the Gulf of Mexico. Sea turtles are vulnerable to cold waters, which hampers their movement. Sea Turtle Incorporated, which coordinated the rescue operation, said that more than 5,000 cold-stunned sea turtles had been brought indoors to stay warm. According to the conservation group's Facebook page, due to the unusually cold water, turtles were floating on the surface of the water, making them more susceptible to drowning, and they were also washing up onto beaches. Staff and volunteers went out in boats, netted the turtles out of the water and brought them to safety. They nursed them, keeping them healthy, waiting for the weather to clear and the ocean to warm up somewhat. And this past weekend, they started releasing the Texas sea turtles back into the ocean after the cold front had eased off. Some good news for us. Now, bringing it back here is a final look at the temperatures for the day. We kick it off with Polokwane with a low of 14, peaking at 23. Umbombela ranges from 18 to 24. If you do find yourself out and about in Pretoria, expect a low of 13 and a high of 26. Johannesburg 13, 24, and then some sun and clouds coming your way. Mahikeng expecting a low of 12 and a high of 26. Klerksdorp ranges from 12 to 27. Kimberley 15, 30. Bloemfontein expect a minimum of 12 and a maximum of 27, and then Richards Bay coming through with a 59% chance of rain, ranging from 19 to 26. Pietermaritzburg 14, 27. South Africa's playground Durban reaches a low of 21 and a high of 27. Umtata 13, 29. East London reaches a low of 20 and a high of 27. Craddock 16.34. Of course, the Windy City reaches a low of 20 and a high of 28. George 21.31. If you do find yourself in the mother city, Cape Town, expect a low of 18 and a high of 27. Worcester coming through with some thunder showers with a low of 18 and a high of 35. And then Sutherland 14.27. And last but definitely not least, Uppington ranging from 19 to 33 degrees. Wherever you find yourself on this beautiful Monday, make sure that you make it a feel-good kind of day.
Thank you, Jamie. Well, JP Sebastian's here as we unpack some of the Golden Globe winners from last night / this morning, early hours of this morning. JP Sebastian's sitting here in his suit. He didn't sleep at all to bring us all of these, amazing results. So let's jump back into the category we didn't touch on lastly. It was the leading actress for a comedy / musical category.
Why, Globes? Why do you split things into genres? And this is probably because they're so traditional. They can't get enough of musicals. That's not for me necessarily, but some of you might like musicals. Let's see if there's some.
Let's look at the leading ladies.
So the leading ladies are any moment now. No, not the drum roll. Sorry. So firstly, okay. Well,
we just revealed the winner.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Oh no, we didn't see that. Okay. Sorry, we're just chatting with the control room.
So let's take a look.
Voices in our heads.
Kate Hudson in for music.
Music is a bit of a debacle, but she actually seems to have a very good singing voice. Maria Bakalova must be a fantastic actress if she tricked Rudy Giuliani into taking his pants off, but I suppose that probably doesn't take much these days. Michelle Pfeiffer is back with a bang, it seems. French accent. And Rosamund Pike, I love dearly. Gone Girl fan at all?
Yes.
Oh man, this lady deserves all the flowers. Julian Flynn, right? Yes. I don't read books, I'm sorry, I'm too dumb. Anya Taylor-Joy, however, is from Emma, and this is the lady I'm putting my money on. Seriously, watch Emma, it's beautifully crafted. I know all of you love that chess TV show.
Yes, The Queen's Gambit.
Yes.
Brilliant.
However, let's move on to who the winner was.
Drum roll, please.
The traditional Zoe drum roll is Rosamund Pike. Takes it for I Care a Lot, which is something that only released last week, so I suppose all of the 90 judges that the Golden Globes are, that's literally how small it is.
They are current.
We're quite pleased about this. Tell you what, let's have a look at Rosamund Pike, why don't we? Because she's fantastic, and I miss her so much from Gone Girl, and here she is doing pretty much a similar shtick of the hidden venomous thing going on. You'll see for yourself.
But recently, she has shown some signs of memory loss and confusion.
Significant?
No, but we can tickle that to make an emergency hearing go our way. She has no kids, no husband, no living family.
No family at all?
She has very good insurance. She told me she used to work in finance in Chicago and moved here to retire.
Can I get a copy of all this?
You bet. All except her test results. That wouldn't be ethical.
Of course.
Very interesting.
The small muscle control in that lady, each little grin is a dagger. She's amazing.
Amazing. Let's now move on to the second subcategory of leading actor and actress. So let's look at lead actor for a drama series.
And now, movie. Yes, it gets a bit more serious. This one I know I'm going to chunk like a baby watching Sound of Metal when it comes to South Africa. It looks so good. Riz Ahmed is fantastic. We love him to bits. And he looks like he pulls it off big time here. Chadwick Boseman, this guy is was such a vital actor. His force of acting that I sometimes think, he's young and he's an up-and-comer, but he was so seasoned, and he definitely pulls it out all the stops there. Anthony Hopkins, speaking of seasoned, apparently does one of the best in his career. So even in these twilight sort of years of his, he's still pushing the envelope. Gary Oldman for Mank, who last we saw doing Winston Churchill in the bad Churchill movie, but Mank looks a lot better. That's David Fincher who directed that, and he's fantastic. And Tahar Rahim, really fantastic, incredible actor. Again, I was lucky enough to speak to that dude too. Such a sweet soul and such a fantastic actor. However, who is the winner? Is it Tahar? Is it Mank? Is it who?
Anthony Hopkins. Let's see. Let's get that drum roll in. And the winner for leading actor in the drama category.
One of the most dynamic we've had. Chadwick Boseman won for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Dude was capable of such range. And tell you what, rather than me run my stupid mouth, let's listen to a genius who at his craft. Here's a nice little clip of Chadwick Boseman.
What is you? I don't see your name in lights.
Oh, I just play the piece, whatever they want. I don't criticize other people's music.
I ain't like you, Color. I got talent. Me and this horn, we's tight. If my daddy had known I was gonna turn out like this, he would have named me Gabriel. Oh. I'm gonna get me a band and make me some records. I done give Mr. Stutterman some of my songs I wrote, and he said he gonna let me record them when I get my band together. I just got to finish the last part of this song. I got style.
Oh, everybody got style. Style ain't nothing but keeping the same idea from beginning to end. Everybody got it.
Everybody can't play like I do.
I'm so happy that award went to him. What a beautiful ode to the legend that he left behind.
And I don't want to, fetishize too much like the fight and irrespective of the uphill, he did what he could. That is a man who is on his last there and he's acting just incredibly with whatever kind of fear he had, whatever kind of courage he has. What an incredible guy he was.
Well, let's quickly look at lead actress for a drama category. We have Viola Davis.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom again. Masterclass, incredible actress. She deserves every category. You give it to her, I don't care. Andrea Day, you told me that you were going to sing an Andrea Day song for me. And if she wins, you're going to sing for me, right?
Broken down in diet. But she let her do the singing.
Okay, sure enough. She does Billie Holiday there and does it very well. Vanessa Kirby looks like she's challenging here a bit of the really scary domestic energy that we got from Marriage Story with Scarlett Johansson and them. Does very well for herself, even though she had to act off that Shia LaBeouf dude. Frances McDormand is one of the best we've got. She deserves her own category every year. We should just give away the Frances McDormand. She's immortal. Nomadland, looks absolutely beautiful. Carrie Mulligan, my first touch was with Drive. She was meek and mousy there, and here she's fierce as heck and plays a sort of like Britney Spears character very well with all the jaws and the teeth that goes with it. Maybe she deserves the award.
Wants to be called mousy. Like,
well, the character was. The
person wants to be mousy and cute.
So this was a good comeback.
Well, let's see who is the winner. Drum roll, please.
It gets louder when you do it. And the winner was, newcomer Andra Day? With all of those strong names, Viola Davis, of all people. That's two blues acts you got, Billie Holiday and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Irrespective, she must be absolutely incredible. Hey, South Africa, we'll get to see this, I think, a week from now. Who knows? But good for her.
Didn't you say the director that worked with her on that movie is quite good with working with people that's never really been in the acting field?
Good point. Yes. It was Precious previously that he won the Oscar for. So
amazing.
Good memory.
Jeffrey Sebastian's not going anywhere. We've still got a few more Golden Globe winners to unpack, and that will be coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show all before 9 o'clock.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is still your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Here's some food for thought. How often do you think about the food you are actually eating, where it comes from, how it makes you feel, and what it's doing for your body? Just like other animals, we need to eat in order to survive. But what sets us apart is our unique emotional connection to food, which can either help us or harm us.
Definitely. Now it's Monday, and that means we're talking all things relationships. And today we're asking, how do you define your relationship with food? Now, clinical psychologist and our resident Asha Dulab is here today to help us discuss this. And we're taking your questions and comments too via our Facebook page. So keep bringing them in in so we can answer you right here live on the show. But of course, before we get into it, I've got to say good morning. Our special one, of course, always sharing all the wisdom, the light, and everything that we need. And today we're speaking about food, our relationship with food, which is so important and so confusing.
Yeah.
We all have a different and weird and interesting relationship with food. And I want to just kick it back to the beginning. I mean, you get that age-old saying of, you are what you eat. Is that notion true? Is it just a random theory? Does it have any plausibility or sense in what we're talking about today?
Yeah, I think it definitely does have relevance. It's an expression that explains that whatever we take into our body, not only just is a representation of our physical body, but also it determines the quality of our thoughts and our feelings and our behaviors. So what we take in, really, it's who we are. It actually extends to saying, tell me what you eat and I'll tell you all about you. And, we have to go back to the old saying from Hippocrates, way back in 390 BC, where he said, let food be your medicine, and let medicine be your food.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite relevant, especially now in the pandemic. I mean, I think that we are faced with so many modern day illnesses. We've got diabetes, we've got cancers, we've got depression, anxiety, and now more than ever we need to take note of what we are putting into our system, because it has such a bearing on our overall well-being and the state of our mind.
100%. It's all about being conscious about what you're putting into your body. Here's one thing I wanted to ask you. Where does that relationship with food come from? Where does it stem from for an individual? Does it come from our cultural upbringing, psychological? Where does that stem from?
It's a combination of everything. I think it's our cultural, our ethnic backgrounds, our racial backgrounds, our family of origin, and that plays such an important role as well. And, let's face it, food is all about emotions. We connect with our emotions, and it really goes back to infancy, when we were born, and the way we connected with our primary caregiver that fed us. That emotion, we were connecting with the emotion of bonding, of connection, of feeling safe, a sense of belonging, nurturance. So people are eating and connecting with their emotions and memories. I mean, we think food is the central thing that brings us together in social gatherings, whether it's a celebration, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a birthday party, even holidays. It's all about food.
It is definitely. I think even listening to you, the show itself as well, we use it as a celebration in birthday cakes. We use it as fuel for performance, but we also are doing things that aren't as positive. So we get into this habitual behavior where we're not necessarily doing it for our own good. And I think it's something that I definitely want to chat about a little bit later. We don't have much time now, but we are chatting to Asha Dulab, of course, right throughout the show. We've got more segments coming up. And we're asking you about how you define your relationship with food. Now, Asha is obviously here today. She's helping us discuss this topic. And of course, as spoken about earlier, we are taking your questions too. So comment via our Facebook page so we can chat to you about your dying questions that you have about your relationship to food. And of course, we will be sharing all the info that you need with our resident and specialist, Asha Dulab. So stick around for more.
Well, we're definitely continuing that conversation here on social media, because earlier this morning in our Good Morning post, we asked you, what is your relationship with food like? And these are some of the responses you've said.
I love it. People being quite honest, which is great. Latoya Lalue Dube saying, good morning. Me and food are best friends. I love cooking as much as I love eating, so it's best to say we are tight, like that. Joan Cameron saying, and this is the best one ever, yummy, 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 I've got love in my tummy. Thank you for that.
I think every little kid knows that song when it's dinner time or lunchtime.
Oh, very sweet. And then Nikiwe saying, morning family, me and food, we are same WhatsApp group. I love cooking in the kitchen. I always open a fridge for some snacks. Well, clearly we are enjoying a good relationship with food, but we know that it can become quite a complex relationship, certainly on the darker side. So we are going to really look forward to continuing our discussion with Asha. We are talking about the relationship with food, and we want you to weigh in. You can let us know how you feel about food on our social media platforms.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's Monday, so we're talking all things relationships, and today we're asking, how do you define your relationship with food? We're back with clinical psychologist Asha Dulab to unpack this topic, so do weigh in with your questions and comments on our Facebook page. It's a unique question because, like you said, everyone deals with food differently, but there's also very much an unhealthy food journey that you can experience. What are some of the signs that we need to look out for if someone is experiencing an unhealthy connection with food?
Okay, so here's someone that's become obsessed with food, obsessed with the appearance. Basically, you're looking for change in attitude and change in behavior in relation to food. Someone that becomes preoccupied with their weight, their behaviors have changed. They maybe disappear after a meal. They're withdrawing from maybe social circles, eating alone, eating in secret. And also there's personality changes. You know, sometimes there's more irritability or there's mood changes. And of course, physical symptoms are also signs. Sleep problems, concentration difficulties. With females, it's our menstrual cycle that, you know, has variance in it. So there's lots of various signs that we need to, you know, but it is different for every individual. It's just looking for that change. Change is the key thing. When you notice a change in one's thought process about food, it's a sign.
I think it's quite an interesting topic because you mentioned we're looking for that change, and you said everybody is, they're on their journey in a different sense. So you get guys that aren't even aware of the food that they're eating. But if I was to be maybe more practical in my question, if I am aware of my vice, if I know that chocolate's my kryptonite, as an example, and I'm eating it every day and I can't stop myself, and I know that when I have a down day, chocolate makes me feel good, but there's that element of unhealthiness. How do I stop myself from using that as an emotional trigger? So how do I stop myself from, I'm feeling down, chocolate's the only thing I think is good, but I know it's not actually good for my body. What do I do in that? I'm in a catch-22.
It's definitely a catch-22. So it's impulsive eating. I think that we eat impulsively for many reasons. Sometimes we are bored. Sometimes we are distracted. Sometimes it relates to our own internal dialogue of how we are feeling. We are eating in reaction to an emotion. So it's about going back and looking at what is this trigger. What is the time of the day? Is maybe evening, going home, you're all alone. What am I eating? How am I feeling in this moment that I'm eating this chocolate? How does it make me feel? And looking for those patterns. And if there is a pattern that is evolving where it's repetitively playing out and it's becoming a problem because it's guilt that comes in, it's shame that comes in, then it's about time to seek help. But everything in moderation is the way to go. I think that we label food as good, as bad, as healthy, as unhealthy, and that is where the struggle comes in. Let's take away the labels of food and let's embrace food as if we are getting in touch with it for the first time. What if we look at chocolate and take a piece of chocolate and taste it for the first time using all our senses? What would that chocolate taste like? Would we want to binge on it or really just enjoy with all our senses this experience of chocolate? You may be surprised, you may not want to finish the slab then because you really will connect with the chocolate mindfully and consciously.
I love that practical way of thinking of it like that, but sadly there's a lot of people that is obese because of medical conditions, and so when they're eating they kind of have a sense of guilt because they think it's contributing to their overweight or their condition. How can they then get rid of those feelings associated with that food or that piece of chocolate?
We must understand that our physical well-being and our eating habit is simultaneously related to our emotional state. So it goes hand in hand. And guilt is very much an emotion associated with food. So it's about understanding one's medical condition, the triggers, the side effects of medication that we take, and also just accepting that this is my medical condition and empowering ourselves with knowledge. Understanding, how is food impacting on my body? How does it make me feel? Am I sluggish? Am I more energetic? Because it is for fuel, but also it has an impact on the quality of our whole entire existence. Even our thoughts are impacted. You know, sometimes it makes us feel a bit down when we eat something, or makes us feel a bit more energized. Obviously, the high sugary fat foods and the carbs, we crave that because it it gives us those lovely chemical and endorphins, the dopamine and the oxytocin and the serotonin increases. So naturally we crave those, but we need to become mindful of what we put into our bodies.
No more chocolate fast on weekends anymore.
No. Everything in moderation.
No, of course, from Zanzibar, we are going to be still chatting to Asha Dulab and answering your questions too that you've been pulling through on our Facebook channel. So we will be coming through with that. But before we get into the good stuff, we've got something incredible lined up for you. Of course, it's Monday. That means it's a special performance. Stay tuned.
Yes, indeed. And of course, we always give you guys the choice of songs. And we've got the incredibly talented, well-loved and highly acclaimed South African gospel singer, Mabato Moshaba, in studio for our Gospel Monday performances. And we put it to you guys to see which songs you would like to see performed. And of course, we've already seen a beautiful rendition of Mamuhle. And she's got a very special surprise for us a little bit later in the show to round us off. But right now, we are going to be allowing her to perform her 2019 hits and our poll-winning song, in fact, this morning, titled Yahweh. Once again, a massive thank you to every single individual who voted for our winning song in our Gospel Monday poll. Mabato, take it away.
modimo udula sikhatwa khatweng modimo. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh yes, it's Monday, so we're talking all things relationships here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And today we're asking, how do you define your relationship with food? Well, we're back with clinical psychologist Asha Dulab to unpack this topic. So again, do weigh in with your questions and comments via our Facebook page. It's been an interesting morning of food. Food is fuel.
Yeah.
We love talking about food, but this one, it's a bit more deeper when it comes to eating. We spoke about, the guiltiness of people that eat. How do we control this when we're trying to eat for comfort? When you're sitting, had a bad day, and now you're stuffing your face with all these bad things or unhealthy things. What are some techniques where we can get rid of that and eating because we want to fuel our bodies?
Sure. So it's becoming aware of those circumstances that we are, those food rituals that we have, where we are sitting on the couch or even eating on the go, eating in the car. I think that we live in such a stressful life that we are depending on this kind of impulsive way of eating. It's almost become natural to ourselves, of becoming aware. I think it's important to plate our food. I think we are so on the go, so we can actually sit down and have a meal at a table and plate it and eat it with consciousness. It even relates to our preparation of food. It starts there, in fact. Preparing our food, asking ourselves, is this going to be a good experience eating this meal? How am I feeling right now? So getting in touch with our emotions. And also, when we approach that fridge for that snack, asking, am I really hungry right now? Or what is going on in my heart and my mind? And those are ways that it can just help us to raise more awareness. But keeping a food diary, a food journal of those triggers, just to help you become more aware. Speaking about it to people, sometimes to deal with the guilt and the shame, it's just about speaking. And very often when we speak about it, we'll realize that many people are sitting in the same boat with the same experience. So it raises kind of compassion and empathy for yourself and for other people as well. So just engaging in knowledge, empowering yourself with more knowledge about the nutrients that food actually gives us, the nourishment, but also how can it cause dis-ease. Food, we need to be asking ourselves, do we eat to live or live to eat?
Wow.
That's actually a very good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
And do we do both? Because we love food. If we look at the comments coming through, everybody loves food. And what we actually want is, we want food, but we also want freedom. It's two words that we love the most, food and freedom. So we want to really embrace a relationship where we can enjoy this experience, become joyful. Food is the most joyful experience. We take in food and we must enjoy it every second of our journey and relationship with food.
I love what you're saying, and I think it really speaks more to and drawing on the fact that do we love what we eat, or do we eat what we love, kind of a thing as well. I find that everybody would kind of answer that question differently, and I really do feel like it's so important for us to, I think again, like you're saying, understand what we're eating and to eliminate that emotion, because I find a lot of people are struggling with emotional eating, like Jamie has mentioned. How do I take that away and just understand this for the fuel and the nutrition that it is? And I think what you're mentioning about education is so important. So if someone was in this position, I know I'm unhealthy, and we mentioned this, okay, I know what my triggers are, I want to change. What's the next step? How is it best to go about that? I've acknowledged that I'm at that good space where I want to make the change now, which is quite hard as it is. What's next?
Yes. So if we can't find it within ourselves to make that change, seek out help. There are many professionals out there that can help. Your GP, get your blood test, talk to a dietitian, a nutritionist, or a psychologist that can help you, guide you through this process, because it's not easy to identify in yourself when you have a problem. You go into denial. I think a lot of us that struggle with food, I mean, we're actually grieving a sense of our wholeness, and we can go into denial. Our emotions come in. We cannot separate food and emotions. It's an entangled process, so we can't try or begin to try and separate. We need to find the space where we actually bring them together and have that awareness. So seek the help when you need it, if you need it, and speak to people. Speak to a friend, speak to a family member, but there's definitely help out there.
Ultimately, food is a choice. You get to choose whether you're doing harm to your body or if you're nourishing your body. Asha Dulab, always good to have you with us. She is going to be answering your questions on social media, so do connect with her. But right now, we are making more of those yummy foods in the kitchen.
I'll go. Someone of you said, oh, he's back. Move way.
Clover fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
We are all a little guilty of going to extremes to protect the ones we love. I'm one of those crazy parents who obsesses over the safety of my children, and while we all know that our Zeeble has many great skills and talents, cooking might not be one of them, self-professed, but she has come a long way, which is why we are triple protecting ourselves in the kitchen today. And I'm doing this because when I asked Zoe this morning if she's ever made a white sauce or a bechamel sauce, the first thing she said was, we set it alight. So we're going to triple protect ourselves today.
I got confused
I've just brought this in case, which is a standard operating procedure if you're going to be making yourself a mac and cheese with a kitchen in Zoe, a first aid kit, just in case, because you don't know what's going to happen. And at the very least, a nice oven mitt, because we're going to put this in the oven too.
I got it confused with when you make a flamboy.
With a flambe, yeah, for sure. But and when you tied up your hair like you were expecting open flames above our white sauce, so I'm going to put this down on the floor, but I'm not going to put it away entirely. I'm just going to keep it like... keep it around, just in case. I hope I haven't shaken your confidence now, because...
A little bit, because now this is pressure. You're making me make a white sauce. So we've got our butter already melted.
Yeah.
I'm adding our
flour.
I nearly said powder, but let's just get that under the way. There we go.
And it stirs. That's what I've learned with making white sauce, because I don't think you ever become a pro at it, but it does become easier the more times you make it.
Yeah.
And the key is just stir, so you don't have the lumps. And then
there we go.
Our full cream Clover fresh milk is going in there. And you want that to obviously thicken. And this is going to become the sauce that binds our mac and cheese. It's going to be kind of the body in the mac and cheese.
There we go.
And just stir until it starts to thicken, and then we are winning. So we are making a mac and cheese with a difference here. We decided to put a little bit of a twist in it, okay? And I actually really like this, because I love having stuff with my mac and cheese. So I'll have like a tomato sauce or a pickle or an acha. And that's, whoa, I almost had a safety concern over my fire
dangerous in the kitchen.
So what we're doing is we are mixing it up a little bit. And something to know, I talk about being triple protected in the kitchen, but what I love about triple protect, it ensures that you get superior quality with every liter of Clover fresh milk, undergoing double purification, and get this, 80, a full 80 quality tests, a special cooling technology that ensures it's kept at the right temperature, and ultra clean packaging to lock in the freshness. Did you like it?
I like what you did there. Are you trying to like now get me to laugh for my black Barack?
Take it back. Okay, so now what we've got here is acha, pure genius. I love an acha pickle, absolutely beautiful. So what we're going to do is we've got our pre-cooked macaroni right here, and we're going to kind of stir that through, and that's going to add such a beautiful flavor profile right the way through.
Look at that.
Our mac and cheese.
I'm feeling the pressure of getting this white sauce to be perfect.
Yeah, and just that's the thing. It's just stir, stir, stir. That's.
And you need to be patient. I was trying to ramp up the heat, but I was like, that's just going to make it burn.
No, Zoe.
Don't heat. Don't
force
the heat.
Don't force me.
You need to be patient.
Don't force me, Zoe. Don't force me to use it. I will use it. Just don't ramp up the heat. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, do you know that my son, genetically, we obviously have a love of mac and cheese because he loves it as well, and we sing a song, easy peasy mac and cheesy, easy peasy mac and cheesy, and it's just for the win. Absolutely love it. So how beautiful does that look?
That is a good song because mac and cheese is one of those easy dishes.
Oh, for
Don't screw up the white sauce.
How's it looking there?
It's looking good. It still needs to obviously thicken up a bit.
Just a little bit.
But it's already a lot thicker than what it was.
Well, for purposes for TV Land, what we'll do is we'll take it as is, and we will...
Naturally, you'll wait at home until it's a bit thicker.
A little bit thicker. And it'll continue to thicken up because it's going to go into the oven and cook through. Do you want a nice liberal coating all the way through?
There we go.
I think the thing for me, beautiful, well done.
Thank you.
Just going to flatten that out. The main thing with the mac and cheese, a good mac and cheese, is all about the crispiness of the cheese for me. That's kind of the most important factor.
Okay.
Pop that there. And now, and I've sterilized about 5 times.
There we go.
We're just going to sprinkle our beautiful mac and cheese. Our cheese.
Pop that in the oven. Of course, we did do this with a bit of an aksha, but you can also add some meaty bits to it. I know then you're completely changing it up a bit, but I love adding some bacon bits to that.
Yeah,
or
some onion and tomato.
Oh, yes.
A nice sweet relish. And this basically just gets popped into the oven, 180 degrees, for 15 to 20 minutes. It's about the crisp. You just want to make sure that it's got that beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous crisp. Well, I feel proud. So we've made it through the kitchen
Dad, and look how beautiful it looks when it comes out the oven. Unbelievable. This is going to be breakfast for the entire crew today.
Yep, and they've earned it, and we haven't had to use the fire extinguisher. It is safe to say that no presenters were harmed during the filming of this Move Fresh segment, but it was worth all the effort to triple protect ourselves and to get this Move Fresh recipe. I really do suggest you go over to expressoshow.com, and if you missed any of the steps, here's a quick recap.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
I'll go. I won't have you sick.
Oh, he's back.
Move away.
Clover Fresh Milk.
Made with love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. You are just in time as JP Sebastian joins us all dressed up in his suit and tie as we look at the winners from the Golden Globes last night.
Why is that such an event? Like, am I usually a schlub?
You're not a schlub, but you don't rock up in a suit and tie.
I don't know if schlub's even the right word. Are Yiddish speakers out there?
You look
Anyone?
dashing today.
Thank you. Is that Yiddish too?
No, we like this, JP. He's polished. But let's focus on the winner from last night or / this morning, the Golden Globes director, who walked away with that Golden Globe.
And so while some of the categories have been sketchy here and there, this is pretty much all round strong. And Emerald Fennell is a beautiful name. I hope that it becomes a household name. She seems like she's doing something very interesting here with Promising Young Woman, especially as regards being a female director in this kind of field. David Fincher, I really don't need to explain who David Fincher is. Surely Gone Girl, Girl with Dragon Tattoo, Fight Club. Well, we won't talk about Alien 3. He doesn't like that too much. But such a consummate professional. I've abused that word twice now, but such a pedantic and finicky director. You look like you're quite excited about.
I'm quite excited about Regina King. I don't know how I missed her name in the lineup.
Good for her. This is her first big screen movie that she's directing. She's done some TV movies before, but for someone who's usually doing acting, obviously, quite impressive to take that pretty bold leap and on such strong characters as Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, and I think it's Dr. Martin Luther King. So yeah, let's see if it works out for her. Aaron Sorkin, a lot of people are quite in love with, obviously because of The West Wing. He was the writer of that. Also worked with David Fincher on The Social Network. So now he's gone from writing. He won Best Screenplay actually at the Golden Globes last night. But does he stand a chance at directing? We'll see. And finally, Chloe Zhao is any day now about to become a household name. Aside from the fact that Nomadland is absolutely gorgeous and she's way too shy. That's why I can only get these kind of photographs of her. She's also in line to direct the next Avengers spin-off, which is called The Eternals. So that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
And so we have to talk about who the winner is. And
drum roll, please.
One of these names that is fortunately bound to become an even bigger name. Chloe Zhao won for Nomadland Best Director, which, I mean, it's great to see women actually getting the recognition that they deserve. And against names that are as strong as David Fincher, good for her.
And stepping into that space and owning it, not just because she's female, but she was actually so talented
to
do that.
Let me not, like harp on that point. Critics and all those sorts of fancy pantsers are going so far as to say that she's actually crafting a new style.
Okay.
Comparing her to a guy named Terrence Malick. If you go to film school, you're going to learn about him and that he's a god in his own way. But she's crafting her own lens that's singling her out as quite an interesting director to look forward to.
Done to her. Well, let's quickly move over to Best Picture. Of course, the Golden Globe separates the different categories. So first, Best Picture for comedy / musical.
And oh man, this category is sort of like, especially during lockdown,
we didn't cringe. Cringy.
I mean, like your favorite, The Prom, is there, so we'll see how you feel about that. Hamilton. Okay, look, I tried to watch.
Oh gosh, is that allowed on TV?
What did I put on the screen? Whoopsie. It's Borat. What do you expect? I'm sorry. Borat's subsequent movie film is previous one won a Golden Globe. Does this stand a chance as a sequel to like a weird satire? We'll find out soon enough. Hamilton, like I was just saying, I tried to watch first 6 seconds and I was in tears laughing. How can anyone seriously go in for Hamilton? It's seriously, people who are ready to drop like 5,000 Rand on a ticket for some of the corniest, like YouTube level rapping. Anyway, music on the other hand, speaking of tone deaf, which the Golden Globes usually are, this is a movie that Sia has annoyed a lot of people in the autistic community with. In fact, if you are on spectrum, I'd recommend that you actually look away at this point because music was a bad choice by the Golden Globes. Palm Springs.
It's still got a nod.
That's again. These are 87 judges. The Oscars is like 8,000, so it's a very narrow group. Anyway, Palm Springs. Moving on. Andy Samberg is back in the saddle from Hot Rod. I think was the last thing that he did, and this is sort of like similar to a vibe like Groundhog Day, Eternal Return, and trying to find romance in between. Palm Springs is apparently quite clever, and do we really have to talk about The Prom?
We don't have to talk about The Prom, but I feel like Meryl Streep, I still wondered why she said yes to doing this movie, but of course James Corden in there.
She's obviously been bitten by the bug since Mamma Mia, and clearly wants to do more and more of these James Corden. Some people like him.
I'm more interested in knowing who walked away with the Golden Globe for Best Picture in a comedy / musical category.
We have been living in a pandemic year, so the choices were slim, and you get a Borat again. Why, planet Earth? How does
Best picture!
Good morning! In all his glory. So, yeah, best picture for comedy, Borat, second time that it's won, actually. And shame. Look, not a lot of people actually know this. Sarah Baron Cohen is like Oxford graduate of law and all that kind of stuff, so he's fancy and
He's
he knows
very
exactly what
intelligent. He just chooses to play.
Let's rush along, however.
But let's quickly look at the last and final category, best picture for drama.
Serious
great,
stuff. The Father.
great
Olivia
nominations.
Colman, Anthony Hopkins. You really don't need a director in this case. They look incredible together in this. Moving on is Mank with David Fincher, of course, the director, Gary Oldman. Such a powerhouse cast and just so meticulously made. Nomadland, as we spoke about with Chloe Zhao, is forming its own style. I can't wait to see this. It looks moving as all heck. Promising Young Woman is certainly a fascinating director to watch out for, and Carey Mulligan is creepy. So please go and see that if you can. And then finally, The Trial of the Chicago 7, which is Aaron Sorkin in his directing boots for a change. But we have to get straight on to the winner.
Let's get that drum roll in. And the winner for Best Drama.
How did she not take it for Frances McDormand Award? Nomadland, Chloe Zhao takes it for director and for Best Picture. We are truly on the verge of something very special with this director, even though, I mean, she's been around, but nevertheless.
Doesn't that just get you very excited for what she might bring to the Avengers?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It does need a shake-up, doesn't it? So maybe she's the right woman for the job, especially with 2 Golden Globes under her belt.
Oh, well, there we go. JP Sebastian, thank you for joining us, and thank you for looking so dashing, bringing us the winners from the early morning, this morning's Golden Globe.
You know this is sprayed on, right? Like that's a nipple right there.
Tough act to follow, but I think we can do it. A heartfelt thank you from the bottom of our hearts to gospel recording artist Mabata Mashaba for joining us in studio this morning. She is now going to be closing the show with her brand new single. This is an exclusive. Mobachona, the soft gospel ballad, talks about the fact that God is there and that he has always been there and is ever present. Hopefully you can relate to that. Mabata describes the inspiration behind the song as being the love of Christ and his selflessness, generosity and grace, as you, I think, will understand when you see this beautiful rendition. The floor is against yours.
Celebrate the month of love with your family favorites. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.